Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show and tell you about Noom. Has Noom helped you? I believe it has.
Oh, that's got an app. You can do tracking. It's terrific.
It does. Noom builds personal plans that can meet individual needs. That's the thing. Takes into account any dietary restrictions, medical issues, other personal needs. That helps build a plan that works for you. And yes, so I know that you've had your own personalized program here that you've been working on. And
it's weight loss This is weight loss results that last. They stick around because you get yourself into a lifestyle change. That's what matters.
That's mainly it. You can't just say, I'm going to cut that out for a month and then go back to it. That's not what it is. So I'm glad it's helping you. That's great. And it really does. I like the psychology and biology-based approach here. Yeah. Noom Weight uses psychology. That's why they say losing weight starts with your brain, but it also takes into account your unique biological factors, Jimmy. All of your multitude flora and fauna that goes on inside of you there. Sure. Yeah. Stay focused on what's important to you with Noom's psychology and biology-based approach. Sign up for your trial today at Noom.com, Noom.com here, based on 3.5-year study of actively engaged Noom users with minimum starting BMI of 25. Individual results may vary. Visit our website for more information. Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit more about Rocket Money. It's the start of a new year. It's the perfect time to get organized, set your goals, prioritize what matters most. And for me, top priority is getting myself together here. Financial wellness, doing that, which that feels important, just feels like adult stuff that you have to do. And thanks to Rocket Money, my goals feel achievable now. They show me all my subscriptions in one place, help me easily cancel ones I forgot that I've been paying for, which happened to me. Absolutely happened to me. For years, I was paying for something. I was like, what is going on here? Rocket Money found it and saved me lots of money since then, because it's been a while. So they did a great job here. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all the app's premium features. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder today. That's rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder. rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Welch's knows some things make zero sense, like why the algorithm knows your music tastes better than you do. But zero sugar and full flavor? We made that make sense with new Welch's Zero Sugar. All that passion fruit or tropical punch goodness and none of the sugar. You gotta sip it to get it. New Welch's Zero Sugar. Let's fruit stuff up.
This week, in Beach City, Ohio, a very different kind of family who even appeared on the reality show Wife Swap end up in a tragedy worthy of reality TV. Welcome to Small Town Murder. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Small Town Murder.
Yay!
Yay indeed, Jimmy. Yay indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Jimmie Whisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us today on another insane edition of Small Town Murder, as usual. And today, oh my goodness, do we have a crazy show.
Hell yeah.
Because we always have to do research and go deep and try to figure out people's, like if it's a family, we're like, okay, what was the dynamic? And a neighbor said this, an aunt said this afterwards. These people were on a reality show where the point of it was to write a manual of exactly what your family does. So we've never had so much actual knowledge.
This is how we live.
The intricate details of how a family lives. So it's going to be it's a wild episode. Can't wait to get into it. First, though, definitely head over to shutupandgivememurder.com.
Oh.
What's there, you might ask? Tickets to live shows.
Oh, boy.
12 live shows we have for 2024, and let me tell you something, they're selling extremely fast. So get in there. Phoenix already sold out. Nashville already sold out. These are well in the future. First
So
up,
far.
April 5th and 6th is Sacramento, San Francisco. Get your tickets. Still tickets available there. Get those tickets right now. And Minneapolis, if you sell out this venue, this will be our biggest show ever.
Unbelievable.
So you will beat Milwaukee and Chicago. Yeah. Chicago just did it last year. So people will say, what is the biggest show you ever did? And we'll always say, Minneapolis. Minnesota is awesome. So come and bring it and beat Chicago. Do that for us, please, Minneapolis. That's shutupandgivememurder.com. Tons of new merch up as well. You also definitely want to check out all the new merch and all that kind of stuff. And certainly you want to check out our new show, Your Stupid Opinions. And
fantastic.
Also, you should definitely listen to Crime and Sports. I'm telling you, there's been some crazy stuff going on there. If you're lapsed on it or whatever,
good stuff,
get back into Crime and Sports and have fun with that. So please do that. Patreon.com/Crime and Sports. That is where you get all the bonus material. Anybody $5 a month or above, you're going to get, first of all, a huge back catalog of bonus episodes, a couple hundred of them that you get immediately. New ones every other week, one Crime and Sports, one Small Town Murder, and you get access to it all.
The whole thing!
The whole thing. It's the best value in podcast Patreon. And this week, what you're going to get for Crime and Sports, we're going to talk about the strangest injuries in sports history. So there's some weird stuff in there. It's fun stuff. And then for Small Town Murder, we're going to get into something we haven't done in a while. Old-timey murders. Dip back into the newspaper articles and on the archives. And wow, were they very specific back in the day about murders. They were just, I mean, these newspapers would compete for salaciousness, and it's awesome. So patreon.com/Crime and Sports is where you get all of that, and you get a shout out at the end of the show as well. So that said, disclaimer, this is a comedy show. We're comedians. We're going to make jokes. So I don't know. I can't, that's never not going to happen. We can't help it. But at the same time, the stories are 1,000% real. We're not adding anything for effect or anything like that. It's just sometimes life is funny, you know?
Right.
Death isn't that funny. We don't make fun of the actual murder. That's the thing. But the life around it, as far as someone going, I think I can get away with this murder.
Bet you can.
Maybe if I just keep this person in my basement for a while, everything will blow over. That's funny. I'm sorry. That's a crazy thought, and we're going to make jokes about that kind of thing. So if that sounds good to you, awesome. You're going to hear a wild show. If you think true crime and comedy should never, ever, ever go together, I don't know. Maybe we're not going to mesh. You never know. Either way,
you don't know.
No complaining later because you've been warned. That said, I think it's time, everybody.
Let's go.
Well, what we do here, by the way, we should tell you, we go out of our way not to make fun of the victims or the victims' families.
Why is that, James?
Because we're assholes.
Yeah, but
we're not scumbags. That's how that goes. So that said, I think it's time. Let's all clear the lungs. What do you say, everybody? Arms to the sky. Let's all shout. Shut up and give me murder. Let's do this, everybody. What do you say? Let's go, Jimmy. Let's go on a trip. Here we go. The bags are packed. We are going to Beach City, Ohio.
Gross.
Yeah, Beach City. Because when I think of Ohio, I think beaches.
I mean, the only one I've been to is Cleveland. I imagine there's another, right?
Yeah, but I don't know how much beach activity is going on in Cleveland. It doesn't. It's pretty gross. I mean,
it's jagged boulders.
Yeah, it's Lake Erie. It's not like it's you know.
Their beach is not a fucking beach.
It's not. So Beach City, Ohio, and it's not very beachy. It's like a farming rural area. It's strange. It's in northeast Ohio. It's about an hour and 10 minutes to Cleveland. So you're safe from Cleveland, everybody. That's good. About 45 minutes to Akron and 35 minutes to North Canton, Ohio, which was our last Ohio episode, the incredible disappearing head. Which was
literally not a beach to be found.
No beaches around here whatsoever. It's in Stark County. It's Stark. The stark lack of beaches is what's the thing that's attracting my attention. Area code 330. Little bit of history here. It has no industry. This town. It's just pure. It's just residential. Just living. A lot of farming going on here.
Just consuming.
This is a family. Every property that I've seen on the real estate report is not, if the property isn't large, it's the stuff around it is like, farmland around it. It's not, there's not like a lot of neighborhoods. It doesn't look like. So it was used to be the center of a few industries, including a canning factory.
Oh, yeah.
A handle factory.
You gotta have those.
We make handles here. That's one of those things you always think if you pull your dresser drawer out, you go, who the fuck makes those handles? That's somebody's
Who
job.
makes the poles?
Someone said, I know the business that's going to make the family generationally wealthy. We're making handles. Somebody did it. And
everybody's got to flush a toilet.
Yeah, they had a rubber factory, wagon shops, a bunch of blacksmith shops, harness shops, that sort of thing, grist mills. None of that shit's there.
None of it exists.
Nothing.
Yeah. It's all handles and farming.
There is a Corel potato chip factory there.
Corel.
Corel.
Okay.
I don't know how you say it. That's their own potato chips.
Them. Yeah. But do they contribut to somebody else?
I don't know if they're a subsidiary. No idea. It's its own little thing. And I read the reviews, and people say they come from, whenever I come back through here, I always stop and get my favorite chips. It's like
that's the Midwest Utz.
A hometown chip. Yeah, I guess so. Nothing can compete with Utz. I'm sorry.
That's pretty good.
So goddamn good. So they had the Falls House that was built in 1818 and was condemned in 1934.
Perfect.
It's a historical site, but it's been condemned for 100 years. So that's very nice.
I love when they're condemned.
That's terrific, isn't it? And then they raised it. It was the oldest continuously operated tavern in the state. So it was open for 115 years, and they knocked it down.
Oh,
so
okay.
That's what happens here. 3 presidents stayed at the Falls House. Yeah. Benjamin Harrison was so impressed with the fishing that he brought his wife there for their honeymoon.
Oh.
He loved it.
He stayed there on purpose.
On purpose. Also, James Garfield and William McKinley also stayed there. Okay. So, interesting. Reviews of this town. Let's find out what other people think, because what the hell do we know? I looked. I tried. There's not a lot of reviews, so I tried to find maybe a hotel or a motel or a restaurant. There's very little here. I mean, very little.
What is going on?
There's one little rrestaurant, and it seems to have good reviews.
What are they close to?
Not much. Not much.
Right.
Bolivar, I think, is the one town they're close to.
Cincinnati's a stretch. That's a deep ride.
They're close to nothing. This is rural area here. This isn't really a suburb. Maybe Canton, but outside of that,
they got nothing?
There's not a lot going on.
Canton is fucking rural.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's
nothing there.
That's what this is like a suburb of. So that tells you a lot. It's just a farming community. So there's not a lot here. So there's 2 reviews, and that's all there is here. 3 stars. Good place to live. Not many local jobs. That doesn't look like it. Yeah, unless you want to work at the potato chip factory.
Sure.
Just a few smaller retail places within a 15-minute drive. Community is good, family-oriented, and small. Everyone know the next guy.
Everyone know the guy.
That sounds like an order. Everyone know the next guy. Let's go. You introduce yourself to the guy on your left.
Next man up, you should know him.
Everybody introduces the guy on your left. How's that? Everyone know the next guy. Thank you. It's a mayoral
proclamation.
It's 3 stars here. Next one. It's only 2 3-star reviews. Overall, nice place to live. There are some nicer areas and some shady areas, but I guess you will have that in about any town.
Yeah.
That's the ultimate 3-star review.
Yeah.
It's right there.
Not bad.
Little of this, little of that.
Some good. Yeah.
It's right in the middle. People in this town, 681. And not a lot. Small place.
No, 1,000 on the 681.
681 people in Beach City. So not a lot of. I guess Bethlehem Township.
Yeah,
is like the. I guess overall.
The umbrella
on it, but this is Beach City. More females than males by far.
They got to be outnumbered by livestock, right?
It must be out there. I would imagine so, because the farm we're going to talk about today, the people are outnumbered by livestock. So
really,
yeah, absolutely. 55% female. I don't know how the hell that happened, but that is
farming gals
way out of whack right there compared to normally. Normally it's just over 50.
Well, the fellas are probably dead from farming accidents, and they just took over.
They're dead from the war, meaning World War II. So I think it's an older crowd around here, too.
All right.
Chet, he died back in Korea. One of those.
I got to feed them hogs.
The median age here is 48.3, which is 10 years higher than the national average, 11 years higher than the national average. And there is a lot of old people here. Really? Everything from 60 to up forever is way higher than the average. So it's mainly a lot of old people. It's It's one of these where it looks like about 25 people run away, and then they come back when they're in their late 50s.
It's literally a dying town. These people are dying.
The people are dying. Yeah, the town's fine. It's standing there just fine. But the people themselves, they're going to die. It's about 59% married, which is higher than the average. Only 8% are single with children, which is lower than the average. So it's families on their farms type of deal. Race breakdown in this town: 97.1% white. So pretty white. 0.0% black, 0.6% Asian, and 0.7% Hispanic. So
fascinating.
White is what that says. Religion here, a little bit lower than the national average, actually, which
really?
is actually surprising to me. Yeah, it's 46.9%. It's usually 50-50. And the highest denomination here is other Christian faith. So
just fucking hodgepodge.
It's everything. Lutherans, Methodists, Baptists, Pentecostals, Presbyterians, Catholics, you name it, it's in here. 0.4% Jewish. We don't quite make the Hava Nagila cutoff, unfortunately, but it's 0.4%. Last election here, 39.9% of the people in Stark County voted for the Democratic candidate, 58.4% Republican candidate, and 1.6% independent. And the unemployment rate here is about average for the national rate. Median household income, a little bit low, though. It's about $48,750 a year. Usually it's about $69,000. That's the average.
And farming makes good money. I wonder what's going on.
Well, these farms, I think, are mainly, from what it looks like, I'm sure there's bigger farms that are more for sales, but they seem like they're family farms that they kind of run for themselves, like the people we'll talk about here.
So maybe they don't report that income?
Maybe they don't report that. Maybe it's a lot of cash transactions, possibly.
Yeah.
Or a lot of it is kind of subsistence also. You know, you're making meat for your family type of deal, not to sell, really.
You keep the neighbor fed with corn and they feed you with T-bones.
It's that kind of deal, yeah. So the cost of living, 100 being average, regular. Here it is 78, so a little bit low. And the housing is the low thing. Median home cost here, $178,100. That is
very affordable.
Very affordable. That's low. So if we've convinced you, damn it, you're going to find a beach in Beach City. We have for you.
Here we go.
The beach, get your flippers on, because we have for you the Beach City, Ohio Real Estate Report. The average two-bedroom rental here goes for way cheaper than the national average, $860 a month. So that is that's low here. I found a three-bedroom, two-bath. This is 1,578 square feet. It's on 1.78 acres. It's just a little raised ranch in the middle of nowhere.
With almost 2 acres?
With almost 2 acres. It even has, I don't know if this comes with the house or what, but it has like furniture from the 70s in it. Like,
hell yeah.
Old. It's a grandma special. Grandma died and they're like, listen, we moved the body. Everything else is yours. You want to buy this place.
You could call it all vintage if you want.
But call it whatever you want to call it. Yeah. But grandma thought it was pretty comfortable, so maybe you'll like it. $225,500 for that little gem, which is decent price for some land too. Here's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,798 square foot house. So a little bit, bigger. It's long. It's just a long, thin house. Yeah, that's kind of the way to put it. Has a homemade ramp in the front.
Like a bicycle ramp?
No. Like somebody.
Oh, like a wheelchair.
Like a wheelchair ramp, and somebody was like, "I'll just put up a board there for you, and we'll wheel you on up."
Boy.
Like that's what it feels like. Doesn't really. It looks like whoever is in that chair could be in danger entering the house just on the ramp. So it's a lot of weird stuff in here. The weird colors: lime green, burgundy, blue, all mixed together. It's a strange house. Pretty ugly. $370,000 for that thing, though.
How many acres, though?
So I don't know how many acres on that one. Didn't say.
It better be 7 for justifying that price.
It better be pretty damn cool for that, because the house needs a lot of work. You're not going to just move in and be like, sweet, that's an awesome ramp. There's a lot of work to be done.
Let me get my skateboard.
Oh, so here's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. They're all 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 5,710 square feet.
Oh, boy, fucking 11 big rooms.
No, this is actually one giant room because this is in the next town over, but it's an old church.
Oh, okay.
It's got the big giant like it sticks up with the bell tower and all that kind of thing. You could stand up there and yell shit at people. It'd be awesome.
I kind of want it.
Just hurl insults at people from the bell tower.
Yeah.
It was on House Hunters, actually.
Really?
Yes, I've actually seen this episode. That's why I was like, oh my God, I've seen that one. Yeah. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty neat looking inside. There's no walls, though. It's like a big room. Yeah, I think somebody bought it and then restored it and did all that. $449,000 for that, though. It's cool.
That would be great.
It's really cool. They've turned it into a cool house. The only thing is like right in the center of town, so you have to...
That would be amazing, though, to have a 3-bedroom, 2-bath church.
Yeah.
And you are fucking in the church.
The only thing that would suck is people are going to wander up from time to time.
Yeah.
And want to
And want salvation.
They're like, can I get a prayer?
Is there any
you scream
is there salvation to be had? Kind of. She's screaming, oh my God.
You just scream, the devil's eating your soul, and slam the door, and they're like, they run away crying. They're like, I went to a church, and I would definitely have a quick little priest outfit that I pop on, just to pop out.
Just a collar.
Say crazy. Yeah, just the collar, because I'm going to just stick my head out the door, say some crazy shit, and slam the door in their faces every time they come in, just to freak them out.
Yeah.
That church is fucked up the road, man.
The snake puppet.
Oh, boy. Things to do in this town.
Yeah.
The Amish Country Theater.
No.
The Amish Country Theater. Here's their pitch for this.
Yeah.
I got a lot of questions. I think
With
they're going to answer them here.
You gotta amplify. And to amplify, you need fucking electricity.
Yes. Well, this is the Amish. It doesn't say that people are Amish. Just says it's the Amish Country Theater, so that just might. We'll talk. Here we go. Okay. Here's their pitch. Hold on to your seats and get ready for some explosive laughter.
Okay.
Explosive is for explosives and diarrhea. Those are the words you use explosive for, not for laughter.
No,
no, because that means you're going to shit yourself. It feels like. Explosive?
Yeah. TNT or diarrhea, yeah.
The shows are designed to be fun for the whole family, from the littlest youngins to the orneriest grandpappy.
There's not an explosive laugh to be had that an old person and all the way down to a child shares. Not one.
That filthy joke the youngin isn't going to get and the old man won't appreciate. So,
and he's not going to laugh at anything that kid laughs at.
Orneriest grandpappy. You'll meet nationally acclaimed ventriloquist Ken Groves, who's been featured on 14 national television appearances. Now, when I said you'll meet nationally acclaimed, did anybody think the next word out of my mouth was ventriloquist? There's one fucking person that's listening to this show, hundreds of thousands of people. Did anybody say he's going to say ventriloquist?
There's only 2, right? There's only 2 that everybody knows.
I don't know who this guy is, so I don't know.
I guess there's only 1 that everybody knows, and the other one is dead.
It's dead, Otto and George. That's only.
That's the only 2,
comedians knew him, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I don't know, he wasn't
or just
mainstream.
East Coast, Philly, and New York, and Jersey. That's the only people who know him.
Yeah, and then you know the other one, obviously, who
the worst.
We won't speak his name. So you'll laugh with comedian Leonard. Spelled like Leonard Skinner.
Skinner?
Yeah, Leonard, a spotlight-stealing country bumpkin who's as unpredictable as an Ohio spring.
Leonard is the puppet?
No. Leonard is the comedian. A comedian named
he's
Leonard.
Another one.
He comes out and does his country bumpkin act for you.
All right.
Because hee-haw hasn't been done 60 years ago. And don't forget the famous Amish comedy trio. Let me repeat that. Don't forget the famous. That's why I said I have to repeat, because everybody went, what the fuck, and just adjusted their radio or
never
their
heard of them.
Phone. Amish comedy trio.
There's 3.
I
can't think of one.
The Beachies, they're called. Okay. And Fannie Mae, whose parody songs and jokes about farm living will keep you laughing the whole way home.
Fannie Mae, the lady that took a bunch of houses away from people.
and makes candy in the Midwest. Yeah. This sounds like my nightmare. I would rather.
Do we get microphones and everybody gets to roast the act? Because this is stupid.
This sounds. If you tied me to a fucking chair, I would figure out a way to knock myself over and with my tongue pull myself away from this situation, out of microphone range. They have the Amish Country Theater's Greatest Hits show. That's on January 23rd. Enjoy the best of Amish country theater as our comedy cast performs their favorite stuff from over a decade's worth of shows. Sounds like a fucking
comedy
medley.
Karaoke?
It's a medley of all their favorite sketches they've done, it sounds like.
Oh, Jesus.
The show is jam-packed with comedy sketches, parody songs, music, and the overall hilarity that has made the Amish Country Theater the award-winning production that keeps people coming back time and time again. Oh, my God. Experience the ultimate tribute to the iconic country music band Rascal Flatts.
Oh, no!
You don't want to hear people covering Rascal Flatts?
Covering Rascal Flatts, who covers other people. Fuck that.
Broken Road is the name of their band.
Of course.
Hailed as the hottest new country music tribute band in America, which means not hailed as anything, because that's not a hot act, a tribute band. It's never a hot act. You're at bars and this sort of shit. It's fun, but it's not a hot act here. They say they capture the essence of Rascal Flatts' music.
Ew.
That is something.
Gross.
Wow. The Valentine's Spectacular comedy show as well. On Valentine's Day, obviously. Yeah. It's a one-of-a-kind comedy show where the audience creates the show.
Oh.
That's right. We leave it up to you, the audience, to pick what you want to see from our menu of greatest hits from the past decade of comedy. How about get a fucking act and come out there and do it and make people laugh? Don't let them pick some horse shit and then you do...
Yeah.
This is asinine.
This isn't Whose Line, and there's not even a Drew Carey here. Stop
this
it.
Is
None
terrible.
of you are good at this.
Then we pack your selected bits, comedy routines, and sketches into one giant, and these are all with an N apostrophe, side-splitting, rib-tickling, knee-slapping, spectacular 2-hour show. Holy shit, kill
now
me.
I want to see it.
I kind of do, too, as a matter of fact, just so I can go, wow. The late-night comedy shows with Leonard, he can get a little blue.
He's the dirty one.
Talking about farm animals fucking humping each other and shit here. I don't know what to say. Then there's
this sucks.
This sucks bad. Then there's a bunch of food. Amish-style home-cooked meals, which I have no idea what that is.
What do they eat?
If I said, we're going out to a restaurant tonight, oh, yeah, where are we going? It's Amish. You'd go, what the fuck does that mean? Potatoes and stuff or corn?
We take our shoes off for this? Is that what it is? We got to sit on the floor and eat?
Do I have to get my hat blocked? Should I do that? Is this important?
Is this like an Indian restaurant with like corn and potatoes?
You just use the bread as a fork? Is that what this is? You just pick shit up with the bread?
It's an Indian restaurant where you just use biscuits.
You know how it is. It's biscuits instead. You tear pieces off of it. Amish-style home-cooked meal, late-night desserts, ice cream, great snacks and appetizers, and a whole lot more. It says you won't have to spend a dime once you're on board. It's all the food and fun. So make your reservation. I don't know. It doesn't even say what this costs at all.
It's prepaid. Just give us your credit card. We'll take care of the rest.
They call it a land cruise because once you're in there, it's all inclusive. Land cruise. It's all inclusive and it's all sorts of fun. And they call Leonard the cruise director. That's what they call him. Wow,
the cruise director is the guy with the filthy jokes.
That sounds awful. Okay, crime rate in this town, not including that. That aside,
scares me.
That is terrible. Crime rate, property crime in this town, right about at average. Which for a small town like this, who's stealing anything? You'd know exactly who did it.
681 people.
I saw Bill. He was stealing my shit.
It's very obvious.
And then violent crime, murder, rape, robbery, and of course assault. The Mount Rushmore of crime is under half the national average. So it's who the hell are you killing? Honestly, you got to walk and go
you
so
can't
far.
Afford to lose anybody else.
No. Plus, you go. It's so far. Like who are you going to kill? That guy's miles away. Fuck him, you know? Never mind. I don't have to deal with him. That said, let's talk about some murder here.
Here we go.
There's some good stuff here from an article from Medium.com by a guy named Nick Young. So just to put that out there, I like to give credit where credit's due when somebody pulls good details here.
Well done, Nick.
Now, let's start out with, we're going to go back in time, not very far here. Sometimes we go back to the 70s. We're going back to a time when it's pretty much the same as it is now. I mean, it's still iPhones and Instagram and all this type of
2004.
shit. June 15th, 2017.
Oh, boy.
Very recently. So this day, the Stark County Police Department, they receive a 911 call at 4:36 p.m.
Basically yesterday.
That's basically yesterday. It's a hang-up call, though. And they hung up as soon as 911 picked up. They realized this is made, and it's not a cell hang-up, it's a landline, which in 2017, that's rare enough as it is.
Where did you find that?
So they're like, it's an Amish person. We know. That we know.
Yeah.
They're at least Mennonite, something. So the protocol, obviously, for the cops is to dispatch police to the location. Well, they call it back and there's no answer. So if there's no answer when they call back and they can't get a clarification, they have to send somebody out. Because sometimes it's a kid that did it or, you know, a lot of times, and you'll see this if you watch like On Patrol, Live PD, whatever, they'll show up for a 911 call and the guy will be like, huh? And they'll be like, yeah, 911 call from this number. He goes, well, that's my number. He goes, the phone's been in my pocket. I've been doing yard work. It'd be like covered in dirt. And they just happen to hit that emergency thing by accident 5 times. And it called 911. So that's normal for that. But a phone, a landline phone, you have to pick up and dial it and hang it up. So it's different. So they go to the location of the call. It's a farm. It's a small family farm. The name of the family is the Stockdales that live there. And so they show up to see if everything's okay. And they figure out pretty quick that something's not right here. Here is Sheriff George T. Meyer. He said at about 4:36 p.m., our office received a 911 call from the residents. It was a landline call, not a cell phone call. It was a hang-up call. At that time, after we received the hang-up call, which we do on a number of cases on a daily basis, we responded deputies to the residents to make sure. So they show up, and this is, like we said, normally this is just some fucking kid did it, or it's 99% of the time it's nothing. So they walk up pretty calmly to the home here. And the one police officer said, upon my arrival to the front door is ajar, by the way.
It's wide open.
Not wide open, but
it's got a kick.
Partially open. So they're like, okay. He said, I observed an individual lying on his back with his head facing the front door. Okay. That's not great. As I was about to ask the individual if he was okay, I heard a single gunshot coming from inside the residence. So he's in the doorway with somebody lying there going, hey, and he's, hey, you all right, man? And just it's that, and it's a shotgun blast too. So if you're in a house and there's a shotgun blast, that is fucking loud. And
as a cop, you can recognize that.
Oh, that's a shotgun blast. And that's one of those where if you're not expecting it and you hear a blast like that inside, you'll jump. I mean, your body will physically jump. It's very loud. Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about the safest sponsor ever, Simply Safe. Absolutely. These people will keep you safe. It's amazing. You know that every 26 seconds a burglary takes place in the United States, according to the FBI. That means that by the time this podcast is over, dozens and dozens of homes will have been targeted, ransacked. God knows what happens here. So protect your home before it's too late with Simply Safe proactive security system. Simply Safe helps stop threats before they even have a chance to break in. Named Best Home Security System by U.S. News and World Report 5 years in a row. And by us for about the last 8 years as well. If you trust us, believe me, you want Simply Safe. So visit simplysafe.com/small to claim 50% off a new system with professional monitoring plan and your first month free. That's simplysafe.com/small. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Now back to the show.
This show, Small Town Murder, is brought to you by BetterHelp. Get yourself some therapy, everybody. Honestly, here. We often hear about, red flags that you should avoid. Hey, that's a lot of a thing. It's become a real phrase now, real cliche. But why don't you focus also, you look at like green flags in friends and partners. Look for good things as well. Right. And maybe you're not sure what that looks like, though. Therapy can help you figure that out. What are positive things? What are the green flags? And then you can practice them in your relationship. It's absolutely a fact. And so, honestly, we absolutely are huge advocates for this. It really, really helps. BetterHelp is fully online, making therapy affordable. It's convenient. They serve over 5 million people worldwide. You can access a diverse network of more than 30,000 credentialed therapists, wide ranges of specialties there. Here's the coolest part. You're not getting along with your therapist, you're just not feeling it, you can switch at any time, no extra charge.
Wow.
The thing is, they want you to get help. That's it. And you can do it with BetterHelp. Discover your relationship green flags with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/smalltownmurder today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
So the cops obviously fled from the door. They didn't know if they were firing upon the cops or what. They had no idea. Right. So they fled the door and ran for cover and called for backup. They're like, holy shit, there's like an active firefight going on in this fucking house. We're not prepared for that. Neighbors nearby will say that before the cops arrived, between 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. at some point, they heard between 10 and 12 gunshots.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. And these are rural people that can recognize what they are, and they all say it sounded like shotgun shots, all of them. Mm-hmm. That's a lot.
And they heard that many and didn't do anything? I guess, out there.
Out there could be anything. Knows? Could be target practice, could be putting something out of its, putting an animal out of its misery.
Putting
Who
down
knows?
Some mad cows.
Could be hunting, could be, I don't know what the hell people do on a farm, but I
could
feel
be
like
cleaning it. Shit.
Could have been an accident still. None of my concern.
Yeah.
People tend to mind their business out here on the farm. So the next door neighbor, Harry McNutt Jr.
Attaboy.
Harry McNutt with 2 T's.
I had a couple of boys at my high school named McNutt.
The McNutt boys?
Yeah.
Wow, that is quite the handle. McNutt.
It's a tough name.
It is. You want to put something on the end of it there.
Yeah.
It's tough. So he's the next door neighbor, the McNuttster here. He heard all of this. He said, quote, it was a rapid, boom, 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 boom. Then time to reload, and then another 5 or 6 shots. So I thought it was target practice. That's why they didn't call the cops.
Yeah.
Thought somebody was firing off at targets, fucking off, shooting.
Yeah, unloading a shotgun rapid is that's rarely. I mean, boom, boom, boom. In a row like that in succession.
Target.
You rarely think that. Yeah, they're not shooting at. They're not hurting anybody.
Yeah, because normally you'd have to shoot, then aim, and then shoot again,
right.
Whereas
boom, boom, boom,
boom, boom,
or you are destroying whatever the fuck you're shooting at.
You're blasting the fuck out of people. So, when they get inside the house, the police, the backup comes. They don't hear any more shots for a while. Everything is calm. No responses from the house. They decide to go into the home here. They're going to find a fucking horrible bloodbath of a scene here. And we will talk about that in a little bit here. Let's find out who lives in this house.
Yeah. What time is it now?
The fuck lives here? 4:30 in the afternoon. This is happening.
Okay. Yeah, broad daylight.
Yeah. By the time they get a little bit, it's June too, so it's going to be light out till 8:30. So, by the time they get a little bit later, by the time they actually go into the house, because they have to secure it and make sure that there's nobody in there that's about to shoot at them. So, let's find out the family here. Now, the father of this family, the patriarch of the family here, is named Timothy Stockdale. He's Timothy Stockdale. He is born in 1960. He's from Michigan.
Yeah.
And when he was in college, he met a woman named Catherine Miller. Kathy, she goes by. He goes by Tim. And he marries her in 1985. So this is the couple. She's a couple years younger than him. She's born in 62. She is from Illinois, Hoffman Estates, Illinois, which does not sound like a town. It sounds like
Hoffman
like
grocery store.
Estates.
Oh, yeah.
Which sounds like a gated community, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's over there in Hoffman Estates with those rich twats over there. You know what I'm talking about.
There's only like 30 houses in there.
It's gated. You'll see.
They're giant.
Just wait till somebody else goes in and then go in close behind them. You'll get in through the gate. Don't worry. Her parents are Morris and Barbara Miller, and she's got a brother and a sister and another brother who died at some point in there. Not sure how that happened. She did not kill him. We know that.
Okay.
Not Kathy's fault here. Now, she went to Beaver Creek High School in Greene County, Ohio, and graduated in 81. She was in track, cross country, and soccer.
Wow.
And she graduated from Ohio State University with a Bachelor of Science degree in agriculture with a major in agronomy, which I guess is economy of agriculture.
Yeah. Okay.
It's how to sell your shit, how to farm for real. For real. Yeah, not just fucking growing shit. This is as a business. And that is where they met, was in agronomy club.
All American gal.
Yeah.
Just athletic,
can farm,
salt of the earth,
pull dinner out of the ground, fucking,
and then make it,
and then run back to the house and fucking
and know a recipe
and make it, and then do some science after that. Like she's got a lot going on, and kick your ass in soccer
and figure out how to value it all.
She was also a member of the Ohio State women's soccer team, which is cool as fuck. She's actual
college soccer team,
varsity college athlete at a major. Ohio State is a huge athletic school.
It's huge. Yeah.
Even in the 80s, it was big. So, and now it's obviously huge too. So they get together, and like I said, they met in that club, and then they started hanging out. And what did
he do? He went to the war?
No, he was in the class as well, the agronomy class.
Oh, okay. All right.
He's into.
Oh, okay, got it.
He's into farm stuff as well. They're both of them. Their goal is to have a farm and run a farm, and you know, make money off a farm and have a family and all that. So they do. They get married in 85.
Okay.
And they have. Okay, let's talk about their sons here. They're going to have, I believe, 5 sons is what I could muster out of them. Now, they're going to be on this wife swap show, as we'll talk about, but they're on the wife swap show. You're only going to see 4 of the sons because the other son is off at college during that time.
Grew up. Yeah.
They don't really mention him, and maybe that was to not confuse the audience, as I will tell you this, and this is the weirdest thing that we've ever had on our show. Okay.
Oh, boy.
1988. They have a son.
Yeah.
His name is Calvin.
Yeah.
Okay. 1989. They have another son.
No, they didn't.
They fucking name him Calvin.
Why?
They have their first 2 sons, who are a year apart, are both named Calvin. I can't even wrap my brain around why you would do that.
Big fucking Back to the Future fans?
Why would you name them Calvin? Is it like Calvinist? Is it a religious thing? Because they're
at that time the only thing for that name was Calvin and Hobbes or
big Cal Ripken fan. I don't know.
In Ohio?
It's the 80s.
I don't know. It's got to be Back to the Future, right?
Calvin Klein? That was just after Calvin Klein, though.
Yeah, right. But that's why she called him that.
Yeah, but this is like they're so, as we talk about, when we say devoutly religious, we're talking about like their whole lifestyle. They wouldn't even, I don't even think either one of them they would like hate Calvin Klein.
Yeah, because it's underwear.
So yeah, they're not into
it's too far.
Underwear where like it'll really show the outline of your balls, and I don't think that's what they're into here. So they named their first 2 sons Calvin. I don't
get it.
Describe to you how fucking weird that is to me.
Different middle names, same kid.
Calvin. So it's like George Foreman named all his kids George, the boxer.
Yeah, you can't. Right, but his name's not Calvin.
But then the fucked up part is then they have 3 more kids. They don't name any of them Calvin.
What are they?
Either they're all Calvin or you got one Calvin. You can't say you 2 are Calvin and the rest of you aren't, because then you're saying, hey, Calvins, come here, and then the rest of you, it doesn't work.
Do you call the second one C2?
I was calling him Calvin 2 in all of my notes here. I just put Calvin 2 because he's Calvin 2. Because the original OG Calvin here, he's gone in this whole story. We know nothing about him.
He grew up and dipped because it was too confusing back home.
And when you hear about this family, you're going to go, wow, I would have got out of there real fast as well, because it is stifling. This is an environment.
Get into it.
So 1992, Charles is born.
Okay.
And then 1993, Jacob is born.
Calvin, Charles, Jacob.
Or Jacob is, I'm sorry, 91 is Charles, 92 is Jacob. I apologize.
Okay.
And then 97 or so, James is born.
Okay.
So they have 5 sons. Calvin, Charles, Jacob, James. 3 C's and 2 J's. It's a full house.
What the hell?
It is wild. They live on this farm.
Yeah.
His job is to, I guess, deliver farm stuff, animal nutrients, they said, and like I guess vitamins, things like that. He delivers
He's a
that
feed store
all over Ohio. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what he does. I guess it's like specialty shit though.
Okay.
They're
Feed store delivery that's like specific to animals.
Yeah, and specialized stuff. Like they're very into organic farming. Their whole farm is all organic and this and that. Like they're very much, they're like, the way they talk about their farm is very like hipster. Like it sounds like Alice Waters is talking about it. There was
no pesticides.
No anything like that, and the purity of all of that. But at the same time, they're not like, armpit hair hippie people at all. They're fucking actually hardcore, as devoutly religious, conservative in the religious sense as you could be.
Wow.
Like it's wild. They have tons of rules in the house. Very strict parenting. Kathy rules the house with an iron fist.
She's the one, huh?
Oh boy, does she. They have the family is very close because they don't do anything else. The kids are homeschooled.
Yeah.
There's a reality show called Welcome to Plathville, and it's this family who it's really creepy. They're all extremely blonde. Everybody in the family is super blonde, and they raise the kids, same thing, on a farm where the kids are not allowed to do anything. They're not allowed any TV, video games, nothing. They're they're just on a farm, and they're homeschooled, and they do farm work and run around and climb trees barefoot and all that kind of shit.
I admire the fuck out of that, but it's fucking weird, isn't it?
It's difficult because at some point, unless they're going to just live on the farm for the rest of their life, which then you're deciding for them, that's really the only thing they're prepared for.
Right.
Otherwise, they're going to have to go into the world where that's not the world. And you have no idea how to deal with other people who actually might mean you harm because you've never dealt with anyone who's ever meant you harm. Like my dog, Sorry, go ahead.
When I bought my house, when I was shopping, I found a house that it was too much house for me anyway. It was a decent price, so I was going to buy it. But then they told me what was happening in there, and I was like, I don't want this house. It's just it was a homeschool thing that was all adoption, and they were just like very secular and secluded. But like, it's in a neighborhood. How are you so secluded? It's fucking weird.
That's weird. Yeah, if you're in that kind of neighborhood. Yeah. So these kids aren't going to have any sense of danger in the world. Yet their parents tell them that everything and everybody is dangerous and can't be trusted, and everything's evil and everything's bad. But then they've never experienced it, so they're never going to understand. Like if someone comes across as nice, they're just going to think they're nice, and they're going to be your classic rube, basically.
Yeah, they're very vulnerable.
Yeah, like I have my saying, my dog Oscar, I was looking at him the other day, and he loves everybody. He comes up to everybody. You know him. He fucking wags his tail. Holy shit. And I thought about it, and I said, no one's ever been mean to him.
Never.
He's never. To him, every person is a wonderful person who'll just be nice and pet him, and because he's never, literally, no one's ever been mean to him. And he's just got this purity of him. I was like, God, he'd be just meat out there in the world because he has no idea.
Oh, God. A delicious morsel to anything.
No idea how horrible everything is. So they also play together starting when they're small even. They start playing in a family bluegrass band.
Yikes.
Where they all play in the band, and kind of what's going to happen is as the kids leave the house when they're older, when they go off to college or whatever, they are going to leave the band. They're going to be bullied and have a hard time finding sexual partners and leave the band at the same time.
Okay.
So that's how that's going to work. In the family band, Calvin the second one, he plays the banjo.
Okay.
Charles plays the mandolin there.
Yeah.
Jacob plays the fiddle. He's the fiddle guy, which I think that's kind of your lead guy, right? The fiddle guy.
I think the banjo is the lead guy.
Really? In a blue.
He's got to be. He's got to be the guy that keeps the time.
He does like fiddling solos, though.
Oh, does he?
I think he's like the Slash of the group. You know what I mean?
Maybe
like
so.
He goes
he's
off.
The rock star.
A banjo, you can only do so much with.
The fiddle's my favorite one.
Fiddle,
I don't know. The mandolin's pretty fucking good too.
And James, the youngest one, plays the upright bass. So watching him at like 11 playing a bass that's a foot taller than him is pretty fucking hilarious because it's huge. It's boom, 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 boom. Upright basses are fucking amazing. They're cool as shit.
Cool. Yeah.
So Tim, he's the father, obviously. Yeah. He plays the guitar. So that's your band.
That's the lead guy.
That's your band, and they play like. Okay, I saw some of the footage of some of their gigs. Oh. They've played the Amish thing that we talked about in the things to do. Like everything they play, the video is them playing, and the crowd, they have good crowds they draw. I mean, a couple hundred people or something, but they are all 100 years old. No one in that crowd is under 80. I mean, it is. Oh, boy. Because they're not doing like, any kind of like edgy shit. They're doing like Pop Goes the Weasel, like bluegrass style.
What?
And like old standards and like stuff like that, like from the 30s, and like walking down that country road and I saw my sweet honey, shit like that. And you're like, I mean, there's an audience, I guess, for that, but it's not. Yeah. It's not. The audience is 100 years old that wants that.
Yeah. I guess, and you can't really country fry anything up like that. Like you can't take like
if they were doing
any new shit and change it a little bit.
You can't do Ace of Base the Sign bluegrass style. I don't think that would. It would draw you some attention, but it would be
show me that pussy. Show it to me.
Yeah, it would be a little bit different.
Let me see that pussy.
That would be fucking fun. That's what I would like. They keep up on all the latest hip hop, and they just that would be an amazing band. So that's the band. They live in this rural area. They had moved here. They didn't always live here. They lived with their kids in a regular place, but then moved to the farm. Because they wanted a farm. They both, I mean, let's face it, they went to college to fucking farm.
That's the thing. Sure.
But also to, quote, get away from the sins of the city.
Uh-oh.
Like, this is the things they were really on their list. Violent language. I'm more worried about violent actions than language.
Yeah.
Sexual influences, drinking, smoking, drugs, the usual, and rap music. Don't want them hearing that, right? Because that's all of those things in one. That's violent language, sexual influence, drinking, smoking, drugs, all in one group. That's actually catchy. That's tough. Tough to keep the kids away from that.
Done with poetry.
Yeah. The Stockdales, very religious, and a lot of their stuff is of their conservatism in terms of keeping the kids here, and that's not politically. I'm talking about. Just in your house.
Yeah.
Not morally is really what it would be.
And
is to keep them away from everybody else. They're homeschooled, which there's plenty of that going on, but no TV, no video games. Also, no dating whatsoever.
None at all.
When they go on Wife Swap, Calvin 2 is 19 years old.
He'd never been on a date.
Not allowed to go on a date.
Oh, my.
He's 19. He's never been on a date before. I've never been allowed to be on one, and we'll hear his quote about it, and you're like, get the fuck out of here, bro. You're full of shit. So
makes you wonder, like, what do you think you're protecting them from?
Yeah, well, I mean, at some point, they're going to be on their own. So at some point, you have to have prepared them in some way, shape, or form. Yeah. I'm not saying that, there's a happy medium here.
Yeah, but the other part, like, to get married, you have to go on a date. You can't marry someone and then go on a date with them.
No, unless you arrange their marriage, which I don't know how much of that's going on in Ohio. You know what I mean? It seems
kind of unfair.
In 2017, I don't know how much of that's happening.
That is wild.
It's interesting. So they're nothing from the outside world is allowed in this house, basically. And they said that all those things make young people lazy and ruins their minds.
Okay.
Kathy, mom, said, we moved to the farm to develop wholesome values in our children. Quote, unquote.
Okay.
That's
very...
Tim says this, the day we moved in, I heard gunshots in our old neighborhood, and I knew we made the right decision. Meaning as they were moving out of the old house, they heard gunshots and they were like, thank God we're going to the farm. When they say grace, that's good enough for me.
Close enough.
Close enough. Someone's getting beat up somewhere. Fuck it.
It was pops and noises. I want out.
Someone's listening to rap music in this neighborhood somewhere. When they say grace at dinner,
they
don't, and people do varying degree, everything from no grace, obviously, like me and you, and then some people say like a few words quickly.
Yeah.
Some people say a little bit more. They sing a fucking song. I'm not shitting you.
Don't.
It's a harmonized Like 2-minute long song. That's Grace.
Really?
Like the food's cold by the time they're done with the second verse.
Yeah.
Like when we hit this bridge, can we at least eat the potatoes? Because they're starting to.
There's icicles on the asparagus. Come
There's
on.
a skin on the gravy now. This is fucking ridiculous. Can we sing this like while the dinner's almost ready?
Right.
To get prepared for it? But they sing Grace. It's like, and all of his loving is running on the farm. It's like and it's like in a bluegrassy tone and shit.
Holy.
It's wild. I mean, I guess it looks like they're having fun doing it, but they seem to like to sing, harmonize and shit. The kids don't know any better, you know?
Yeah. I'd rather have the Ben Stiller Grace from Meet the Fockers or Meet the Parents, whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Oh, God.
Something awkward. Somebody make it fucking awkward in here.
no.
I mean, singing makes it awkward. Maybe that's the thing.
Imagine in Wife Swap when the new wife comes in and sits there and they're like, we're going to say Grace now. Well, the Lord told me potatoes are good for you. And she's like, what the fuck?
We were walking in high cotton.
She gets up and leaves the table to go mess with the food because she's like, I don't know what to do.
I don't know the song.
They're all sitting there. The way they're doing it, too, there's no joy in their faces. They're all sitting there like stone-faced. And she's like, I'm getting up now.
Oh, my.
It's weird. We've never seen or known more about a family in our stories of anybody's in our history here. So they lived on this farm, like we said. Now they're growing up. They're expected to do tons of chores.
Sure.
They have an elaborate system, which will be explained later better in their manual, but they have an elaborate system where chores, it's a chart, the chore chart, where all the boys are on there and all the chores, but it's not just the chore chart, because a lot of people have a chart, so you can keep track of shit if you have a bunch of kids.
Yeah.
These are rewarded by tokens, okay, and marked off the chart. And these tokens, and you get tokens for doing the job and doing it well. That's how you get a token. And then you get a token if they did it with a smile. If they had a good attitude, you get extra tokens and shit like that. Now, they could spend these tokens. They had to earn these tokens so they could spend them for recreational privileges, meaning not farm work or Bible study.
So creepy.
And 20 tokens, you'd be allowed to listen to a, quote, family-friendly approved radio show. Like it's 1938.
Radio.
Come on, kids, let's pretend it's the Depression.
Those exist in 2017?
Roosevelt's fireside chat's coming on, fella. Let's see where Hitler is today. I heard he's invaded Poland. What the fuck are you talking about?
50 tokens for War of the Worlds.
Yeah. They do, like on the AM, especially the religious channels.
Do they still do it?
Oh, it's all religious shit they're listening to. They're not allowed to, like, listen to Top 40 or, like, you know, I'm going to put on Hot 97 now. This is,
but
it's not that.
do a family show still on the radio. Oh, my God.
Yeah, on the AM there, boy. That's what they got here. So about the chore chart, Kathy says this, quote, the chart also addresses attitudes. Just because the job is done doesn't necessarily mean it's done in the right way. So, you gotta,
really?
Oh, it's hardcore.
Just because the dog shit's picked up doesn't mean you did it right.
Maybe you didn't do it with a smile. Maybe you didn't do it with gusto that the Lord requires. I'm not sure, but
the cow's is milked, but that shit's gonna curdle because you were sour about it.
See the look in their eye. You could have gave him another tug or two. That's all I'm saying. That cow said, almost, buddy. You see him? Look at him.
Her nippies is red.
Yep. So she said, we don't allow any cussing. I think that dating has physical dangers like pregnancy. It's not worth it. Well, sex has that. Just going out on a date with a girl and going to the movies, it's impossible to get pregnant. It really is.
Yeah.
You can't. You really have to put your dick in them to get them pregnant.
You really got to put your dick in it.
And really, you got to get your dick in there, and pretty far too. You really got to get it in there for a minute too. You can't just give it one little hey, how's it going, poking out and leave.
Look,
hey,
like she's so rigid about the chores. Wouldn't you just be like, the way to not have children is this way? A conversation, fucking education is everything.
No.
Just don't do it.
No, just don't do it and stay away. Rather than educate them on the subject, just have them stay away from it completely. That you don't have to know about it. That's staying. But what if they go to college and some girl grabs their dick?
Yeah.
And it gets hard and they're like, "Oh my God, they're not gonna know about condoms or anything else. That girl's gonna be pregnant in 5 minutes. That's what's gonna happen." So,
and if you're not like good with your dick, you know, like if you don't know like what's about to happen,
good with
you
your
can't.
Dick. You mean that like I'm good with it, like I know what's up with it. Not
I know
like,
what's happening there.
Not like you can make it do tricks.
No.
Okay.
It doesn't
I call
dance
this one
nor
walk the
moonwalk.
dog. Hold on a minute. Check it out.
Watch me rock the cradle.
Let's do this. Hey.
Don't do that. But if you know the feelings that happen while during sexual activity, you can pull out, or even if you wear a condom, you can get out still. You know what I mean? If you're trying to not get that in there,
yeah.
there are things you can do.
Stay away from. To this family, a vagina is like a black hole.
Oh boy,
where if you get near it, it'll suck you into it, and then you're just lost in space forever.
And then you've got children.
You're gone. So they just have them. You're not allowed around girls.
Stay away from the vagina.
Yeah. Well, they don't talk to girls. They don't. They don't know anything about it, and they all seem to like girls. So, she said though, physical dangers like pregnancy, it's not worth it. It's important we have control over their character and their education.
Why don't you let them be the judges of if it's worth it or not? Because somebody else making you come versus you doing it, it's worth it.
The word control is the most important word in that entire paragraph because
you're right.
She controls, and Tim too, but Tim's at work a lot, so he's not there all the time. So she is there all the time doing the homeschooling and everything like that. So Kathy controls every aspect of their life. I mean,
domineering.
What their attitude is while picking up dog shit. I mean, it's it's down to that micro of managing these boys.
Where's your smile?
Yeah. So Tim said, quote, "It's important that we instill in our children that you need to work and not expect a handout." Well, that's good. Work ethic is something you should instill in your children. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. It's just an extreme here. And not expect a handout. We raise a lot of our own vegetables. We raise all of the meat that we eat. So
all of it?
All of it. That's how they do it. Now, here we go. Let me show you. If you pull over here, I'll give you
let's see.
Turn the monitor. That is the Stockdale family band. So
is that Dad on the guitar?
Dad here.
He's
young,
so
right?
young.
He looks really young. Dad looks super young for some reason. So there's Dad, and there's little James.
So we've got four.
The bass.
So
that's
who's that over there
to
the left?
That is Calvin 2.
Okay.
So Calvin 2, Charles, Tim, and little James, and that's Jacob there with the fiddle. Okay. So there we go. That's the Stockton family band. Now, Mom, Kathy,
they all look very the same.
They look really similar, especially Calvin. Calvin and Charles look a lot alike.
They just look like different boys, or the same boy in different times of his life in one picture.
Tim looks like Joel Osteen, by the way.
Yes,
that's the best way to describe him. Is he looks pretty much exactly like Joel Osteen.
Hair.
Yeah, same type of hair, same face too. Just that same type of face. So the band is actually very successful in terms of what a family Christian bluegrass band is. Like I said, they play all the the barn dances literally, and the Amish thing and the county fair and all that.
The country Brady Bunch.
Yeah, it's a couple 180-year-old people pull up plastic lawn chairs, because I watched it. They're all in plastic lawn chairs, and they watched the show. So they regularly competed in national and regional competitions and performed at everywhere there's bluegrass. They also used their music as... They would basically use it as religious stuff, too. They would do, like, religious bluegrass music as well, which is a genre, I'm sure. I mean,
There's Christian everything.
There's a big the big middle of that Venn diagram where, bluegrass fans and Christianity probably mesh, I would think, where they would both like both of those things. So, in this part of the country, in Kentucky and that sort of thing. So they began publicly performing around 2006. Before that, they would regularly play music in the house. Wow, Dad would play guitar. The kids would bang on in fucking pots and pans till they had enough, till they were old enough to figure out how to hold a stand-up bass in place.
Play a string,
And so Tim would play guitar. They won 4 first-place awards in regional bluegrass contests over the years.
Yeah.
And they also placed second in the Single Mic Championship and the Youth in Bluegrass competitions.
Wow.
They also released 4 CDs.
What?
They don't write any of their own music, by the way,
no,
until after 2008. But before the first couple years, they just do, old religious songs and covers and shit like that. Hey, everybody. Just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about Sono Bello. The most known secret with celebrities and influencers and all these famous people is so many of them have had lipo. They've had lipo, whether it's a little touch-up here or a total makeover. Yeah. Nobody has a perfect body. That's the thing. No. They may look like it on TV, but there's things that help that. Absolutely. Lipo now has changed, and Sono Bello's been at the forefront with using LAL technology and getting those beautiful and natural outcomes for each person. Looking real natural. Our friends at Sono Bello are offering their best deal. You're now included in their winter savings event, but appointments are limited, so please get on this. Sono Bello doctors are masters in micro-laser fat removal, a brilliant technique that removes stubborn fat permanently. Wherever your problem areas are, tummy, love handles, thighs, arms, it's gone in one comfortable visit. Eating healthy and workouts are great. Keep doing that, but if you want to lose that stubborn fat in one visit, check out Sono Bello. Save big during their winter savings event. Schedule your free consultation now at sonobello.com/smalltownmurder. That's sonobello.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit more about our stylish friends at Quince. That's right. Let's go elevate your styles, people. Yeah. Get it going, look good out there, and you can do it now without breaking your wallet, without breaking the bank, because at Quince, you can get high-end, versatile pieces at prices we can all actually afford, which is very nice. You want to get good stuff that lasts and it's good, and they have quality stuff that's very affordable, and you can do like we did, upgrading our stuff here, while still being a very reasonable price. Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, responsible manufacturing practices, along with premium fabrics and finishes. It's all quality stuff. You're going to love it. Trust us, it looks good. And I've got the leather jacket. It's a very high-quality item. Real nice, soft leather. Yeah. Jimmie's got his linen pants he's rocking.
Yeah, they're terrific.
Come on, be like us. Be fashionable. Get in there with Quince. Indulge in affordable luxury. Go to quince.com/smalltownmurder for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/smalltownmurder to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about a very cool place, Thrive Market. Yes, we are both looking to get into the healthy swing this year. The problem is I don't know what's in everything, and I don't know if even I'm qualified to even read the labels to know if that's good or that's bad. Right. There's chemicals in things, and there's things floating around. I don't know what I'm doing out there. One of my favorite features, and I know you were talking to me about this, is the Healthy Swap Scanner in the Thrive Market app. Yeah, it's simple. You scan any item, and it'll instantly suggest a cleaner, healthier grocery alternative, which is
it's great.
Amazing. Yeah. That's great. Thrive Market also takes the guesswork out of finding these safe, healthy foods. For example, like I'm trying to get my protein intake up for energy. I'm always moving around. I need stuff. And I love that you can filter their site by the high protein options. Nice. It's very cool. And you can personalize this portion and you can put filters on it. And get ready. You should be ready for a junk-free start to 2025. Get ready for it and head to thrivemarket.com/smalltownmurder and get 30% off your first order plus a free $60 gift. That's THRIVE market.com/smalltownmurder, thrivemarket.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
They released 4 CDs. They worked for a while as the house band for the Amish country theater comedy shows.
Is that right?
Absolutely. They'd come on, do their little bluegrass thing, and then Leonard would come out and fucking make you want to kill him.
Tell some dick jokes.
Yeah. No, not some dick jokes.
They weren't allowed to play The Late Show.
No. The Late Show gets a little blue, fellas. He talks about a woman's bra at one point. We can't have you around that.
He says panty.
So the only girls they've ever talked to are 80, and they're in the audience. They have no idea here. Here is Jacob and James talking about their musical upbringing in an interview here. Yeah. They say, what was it like growing up and playing music around the house with your family, then being in a band? James says, it's been really formative for us. We had 4 brothers working together and singing together, and before long we figured out that people like to hear our bluegrass and our old-time sound. They do sound very old-timey. Our family is no different than any other. You're always going to have hard times and differences and conflicts, but music was something that always kept us together. We always had that in common.
Yeah.
And Jacob, he says, our dad was always the big inspiration behind us getting into this old-time acoustic music. Yeah, Dad wants to do this, and the kids have to. That's what this is. We'd have great music nights where Dad would play rhythm guitar, and sometimes we'd pull out pots and pans and keep the rhythm. They said, how did you start playing your instruments? James says, when I was about 5 years old, for Christmas, for my Christmas present, my dad made me a bucket bass with a 65-gallon bucket.
Sick.
A broomstick and a weed eater string.
A 65-gallon bucket? That's a
giant,
a barrel.
I was going to say, I'm trying to picture that. That's like
65 gallons
a
is
plastic
a barrel.
burn barrel, basically.
Yeah.
Remember in The Wire when they were importing the shit there in the second season? That's what they would come in, those big plastic barrels.
What was the string he had?
A weed eater string. Like a weed whacker.
So, that's
string
a
with
big
a broomstick.
So it's just one string. Blong, dong, 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 dong. Yep.
He basically, but that's his Christmas present, is I made you a broomstick fucking cartoon hobo bass.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas. I mean.
Jesus would be thrilled.
But the kid doesn't know any better. He hasn't seen TV or commercials. He doesn't know what's available. You know, he doesn't go to Toys R Us or anything at the time. So he said,
fucking burn barrel with the grass on it.
Yeah, here you go. We can't weed eat now, though. Our weeds are out of control. But you have a bass, I guess. Here you go.
Our weed eater's broken now.
Spoiled little bastard. He said, I started playing with the band for about 2 years before I graduated to the big upright bass. The bucket bass is where I learned my rhythm and timing. Jacob said, I started playing the fiddle when I was 7. Wow. I've probably had 4 fiddle teachers for short periods of time and spent a lot of time on my own practicing and figuring things out myself. I started out playing a lot of fiddle contests, at least 7 a year, and that was a big inspiration for me. I'd have something to work for and learn new songs for. In 2012, I won the Ohio State Grand Champion Fiddle Contest for old-time fiddling at the Parade of the Hills Festival in Nelsonville, Ohio.
Awesome.
Then I went out to Idaho for the national competition, and I got 12th in my age category. So, kids can play.
Shit, yeah.
He can play. They said, describe your concerts for someone who's never seen the Stockdale Band. Well, gather up your oldest people, first of all.
Call your grandma.
Call your great-grandma. James said, we play a mixture of old-time bluegrass and gospel in our shows. We throw in a lot of stories from the farm and a touch of comedy. Jake will throw in some trick fiddling.
Okay.
Jacob will do so. I don't know what trick fiddling is. I don't know how you trick fiddle. All fiddling is
fiddling.
fiddling.
Pull a rabbit out your fiddle.
Yeah. You put your fiddle down, pick something else up, and it still sounds like a fiddle. Otherwise, I don't know. Or your fiddle now sounds like a wash tub. I don't know what we're talking about. How do you make a trick fiddle?
Pull a lady out of your fiddle.
Oh, yeah. Whoop, there it is. She walks off.
Make
there she
a lady
is, everyone.
disappear in my fiddle.
She waves. One of the fun songs we do is called 40 Acres and a Fool. It's about a farmer whose neighbor moved in from the city and doesn't know much about farming. We do a comedy bit back and forth called Arkansas Traveler. You know that one. That's the one where one guy puts his dick in the water and he says it's not as deep as I thought. And the guy from Arkansas puts it all the way in and he's like, oh, there it is. I hit the bottom. You know that old joke. The Arkansas Traveler sounds like a sex move, doesn't it?
I don't like 40 Acres and a Fool.
And a fool, that's definitely.
That's fucked up.
I think Spike Lee might have something to say about that. He's like, hold on a second here. My production company's name is, hey, fuck you.
I like how you guys write
But it's not anything about that, though. That's the thing. They're like, that's catchy.
We just want to confuse y'all.
Yeah. They're waiting for like the Civil War to break out. When the sketch starts and it never happens, it's just about some guy.
We like to really make light of reparations for slavery. It's funny to us.
But then it's about nothing about that.
Nothing about it.
No, it's so funny.
It's just about city folk coming to the country.
You know how it is, y'all. Yeah. It's hilarious. So that's their comedy bit they do back and forth.
Yeah, I don't think he realizes why it's funny.
Yep, I don't think so either. The Arkansas traveler's between an old farmer who's out in his field and an out-of-towner who's lost and coming up for directions.
Yep.
This stuff sounds... Man, I do not want to go to the Amish country, whatever the fuck, theater. I do not want to go there. 4, how did you discover old-time music? Do you listen to other styles, too? Well, they're not allowed to, is the answer to that. Jacob said, our dad listened to good Ohio bands like Hot Mud. Sometimes Mom had old records that she would convert into cassette tapes, and we would just burn those things up. In the 2000s, they're like, I got some new cassettes for you, kids. And they're like, oh, boy.
Hot Mud.
Yes, because there's no iPods here because there's no technology here. Not allowed. James said, we listen to as many different types of music as we can. We listen to modern bluegrass, Americana, instrumental jazz, pop, and country. It definitely gives us ideas, but they're only allowed the Christian versions of that back then. They're not allowed secular music. That's the thing. They say, what kind of places does your band play? I don't know. Where do your old people hang out? Should be the answer. I know you've played in Branson, Missouri a few times. There you go. The capital of old entertainment. Yeah. James said, we play all over, mostly in Ohio, but we also play in the surrounding states, Indiana, Michigan, Kentucky, Pennsylvania. We play a lot of community concert series, churches, theaters, county fairs. We've had a great time as the house band at the Amish Country Theater in Walnut Creek. They mix us in with the comedy acts they have down there. Jacob and I are also singing as part of the Straight Tie a cappella group at the theater this Christmas, and we're throwing in some fiddle and bass and trick guitar work. It's a fun new experience for us. So that's the table we've set up for them here. It's
wow.
The kids seem overjoyed by handing in tokens and getting to listen to a little while of gospel bluegrass music on the radio.
Well, they tour the Midwest, playing everything from a Waffle House to
the county fair. Yeah, everything from Waffle House to the Golden Corral. Now, they decide to go on wife swap. Now, you'd say, why would this family?
Why would they?
That shelters, well, number one, they get paid for it. People always go, why would they do this? Reality television pays money.
There happens to be a lot of money involved.
When we watch Love After Lockup, and we'll go, why are these two still together? Why is she still talking to him? And you go, oh, because they get $4,000 an episode. That's why.
Right.
So you'll talk to some asshole for an extra couple of weeks if it means another $8,000. I would. It's, especially if I just got out of prison or, whatever. So they decide to go on the show to participate. The boys were excited about it at first. And eventually they decided that this could be interesting. It could be a family adventure. And also, maybe they could spread what they do to other people. That's what they thought. They could show them the right way.
They thought it was good exposure.
Yeah, they can, go around.
It's exposure for us.
For us.
To us.
And for the band, too.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
So it's the bluegrass band. We might sell some CDs out of this. And on top of that, we might be able to to evangelize our way of life to whoever we encounter as well.
This is one of those stand-up shows that people get on the air every fucking 8 to 12 years, and people are like, "Oh, it's good exposure for you," and then nobody sees it.
It's not. Yeah, it's not. Now, Wife Swap. The whole show. If you've never heard of Wife Swap, never seen Wife Swap,
it's not as dirty as it sounds.
It's not. It sounds filthy, and that's why they call it Wife Swap, because it's like, oh man, they're gonna fuck each other's wives. That's crazy, because that's what you think. You hear the name and you're like, oh man, this is wild. By the third day, they're gonna be banging each other. This is weird shit. But it's not like that at all.
Yeah,
couldn't be less dirty.
Right. It couldn't be any more wholesome. It's just stupid. But the way you hear it, you're like, oh, what if she gets a hotter dude than me and then they're just banging all the time?
Well, luckily, they're going to set you up with the people you'd hate the most. That's how they do it.
That's the whole point.
Far extremes of everything.
Conflict.
It's conflict. It's absolutely. It's the family who's whatever. Like they have English versions too. Yeah, they have English and Australian versions. I'm sure they have other countries' versions, but I've seen the English and Australian versions. The English ones are the greatest fucking show there is because they're like, they get the real like Cockney, like fucking, people that are like, oh, the kid's drinking in the streets again. Oh, it's fucking, like they get those
and
people.
Then send a religious person to that man.
No, they get like, people who are like, this is my husband, Lord something of so-and-so, and we're, they live in a fancy fucking
He's a
house.
lawyer.
And she wears diamonds and pearls all the time. And he's a barrister and she's from a family, and they switch those two. And it's like, wow, that's so much different. That's like generationally different. That's fucking awesome. Whereas in America,
Tammy in that man's house.
yeah. Whereas in America, it's like, either one of you could switch places in the next 5 years. Anything could happen.
Won't matter.
Yeah. Whereas in England, it's like, you've been poor for 8 generations. You've been rich for 8 generations. Let's put you together. Yeah, since the beginning of time. Since you stole it from the Scottish or whatever the fuck. I don't know.
And now America is sniping their shows where we have Farmer Wants a Wife and
all that shit. Yeah,
all that stuff is coming here now. We're importing their entertainment now. We've run out of ideas.
We've run out a long time ago. Everything's a sequel and a remake. So. Anyway, that's the premise of the show, is they get these people that are as different as they can possibly get, and they switch the mothers always. Yeah. It's wife swap, so the mothers switch places.
The mother goes to the other house.
They get to, when they get there, they get to go into the house when no one's home.
Yeah.
To inspect it, look around, see what their new environment is. Then they also get a manual that the other mother has left for the running of the family. This is how we run shit.
This is your job.
First week of the show, the new mother in the family, the outside mother, has to do things, abide by this manual. They're supposed to do all the things they normally do, even though they're so alien and different to them personally. Right. Then at the end of 1 week, it's rule change time, and then the new wife, or the swapped mom here, gets to, they should call it mom swap, really, because it's always kids involved.
It's always
too.
a mom, yeah.
It's never just a guy. That would be weird. Right. If it was just, you're just going and sitting with this guy, what do you want to watch? I don't know. What's on Netflix? It's always to take care of the kids. Yeah. It's never just a dude.
Because otherwise it would just be, I don't know, my wife usually gives me a lot of blowjobs.
Yeah, tons of blowjobs, and then she likes to cook. Sucking dick just really makes her want to try out new recipes and stuff. So that's what I would do if I were you. Just blowjobs and sandwiches is all really that happens.
Blowjob sandwiches, and sometimes she sprinkles in laundry.
She'll do that stuff. It's crazy.
So, get to sucking.
Sometimes she's got so much energy she has to go out and mow the lawn. It's weird. I don't know.
But I did you a favor and put the chicken out to thaw. So
what's up with that?
So you can loosen your jaw.
So during rule change, you get to see everybody freak out, obviously, because this is the opposite of how they're. And kids are great with change. Yeah. They're just great with it. So.
Look at any substitute teacher.
Yeah, they're terrific with it. So they either rebel or they're mad. Yeah. Sometimes they like it, though. Sometimes the kids like it, and they're like, actually, I like this. It's much better structured, or I like it looser like this, or whatever the fuck. Then the best part of the whole thing is at the end, they get the couples back together, which is the dumbest part of the show, is that they park like 2 limos across the parking lot from each other. They don't even pull up close. And they both get out and look at each other, and then they have to make their way to each other from across this parking lot. And you get to see the enthusiasm that the couple either has or doesn't have for each other.
Yeah.
Because some of them will like run to each other and like, oh, finally, I missed you so much. And they're kissing. Some of them will like walk up like looking at their phones and shit like, hey, what's up, dude? How's it going? And they like give a fist bump. They're like, fuck, I'm so happy to be rid of you. Yeah. You can just tell which relationships are in trouble by the way they greet each other. Yeah. Then they bring them in a room and have them sit down with the other couple and just have a chat.
Hash it out. Yeah.
Hash it out. They get a little table, a card table, and they sit across from each other, 2 and 2, and they hash it out.
And they've let them say, like, you shouldn't be doing this. Yeah. They've let them say all kinds of crazy shit.
Yes, and sometimes, a third of the time, everybody will get along splendidly, and they'll be like, listen, your family taught us things that I've taken, and they'll be like, well, actually, so did you. You taught us that blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And the wife will be like, oh, that's good. I'm glad that happened. Everything's fine. And they hug at the end, and that's that. And then sometimes, like this episode, they sit down and like, you're a horrible, horrible person. You're a terrible mother. Your kids are terrified. You're this. Well, your kids are fucking animals, and they're going to end up in prison. And they're yelling, and then the wives will yell while the husbands sit there stone-faced.
No, I don't care about this.
Then one husband will say one thing like, that's not right. You said here. And the one will go, don't you fucking talk to my wife like that. How dare you talk to my wife like that? Well, you didn't talk to my wife like that. You were in my home. You motherfucker. Blah, blah, blah. And they have to separate them, and they're taken out separately.
Yeah.
That's the type of thing that happened here. The other family.
I love any guy that goes, don't talk to my wife like that.
Don't you dare talk to my wife like that. Meanwhile, you're talking much, and you're talking much worse to her probably.
Yeah.
So anyway, they're in here. They say this of these. This is the how they pushed it here. Kathy says this to Bluegrass Today about why they did wife swap.
Promotion.
That's a publication. Being a farm, homeschooling, bluegrass band family, we enjoy a lot of common experiences, but we have to chalk the wife swap adventures as the grand family bonding experience for the Stockdales, for which we will never be the same.
Oh, it changed their lives.
She said, we relate differently in that we have even more and deeper collective experiences where we overcame obstacles and accomplished a giant task together. No one else will understand the wife swap journey like we do, and that is one of the things that we will make our family unit different and special forever. Yeah, this was like, for them, it was an endurance thing. And the wives, too. Both moms in this case, they were as shitty as they could be when they did the rule changes and stuff. Like, yeah. So they did like, well, we'll get into that in a second, but here's how they pushed it. This is the promotion from ABC. Yeah. This week's edition of ABC's hit reality show Wife Swap will feature the Stockdale family of Ohio as one of the subjects of the show's exchange experiment. Kathy Stockdale is both the matriarch of her brood and the manager of their bluegrass group, because she does all the finances and all that. The Stockdale family band. The band features her husband Tim and their 4 sons. Despite the salacious title, the actual concept of the show is to take 2 families with different lifestyles and parenting approaches and have the moms change places for 2 weeks at a time. Of course, the cameras are there to capture the predictable conflict, all displayed on screen for your televisual entertainment.
Yeah.
Wow. Interestingly, ABC went looking for a bluegrass family band for this episode.
Really?
There's a reason for that, though, because the other family, the kid wants to be a rapper. So they're like, what's the opposite of that? Bluegrass, gospel bluegrass. They found the Stockdale family through David Russell, who manages both the BuckeyeBluegrass.com and the BluegrassMusician.com websites. Where else? Where else would you find bluegrass people?
The guy online, yeah.
That's him. Russell says they were contacted about this last year and recommended their friends, the Stockdales, right away. Initially, they were not interested in doing the show, but then the parents said sure once they saw how eager the boys were to give it a try. Sure. It is being promoted as a city versus country culture clash, with Kathy Stockdale as the overprotective mom, as against the more liberal mom who joins the family from town. And they're from Illinois, the other family. So Kathy described the experience like we told you before, and so she said, I'm not sure if this is the way we want bluegrass to reach potential new converts, but no one asked me. This is from the website. Yeah. So if you're so inclined, look for the Stockdales on Wife Swap. So 2008 Wife Swap on the show, Tim and Kathy. Mm-hmm. Calvin Part-Deux here.
Yeah.
He's 19.
Yeah.
Never kissed a girl, he says. Romantically, which means, I kissed my grandma, but not
I kissed my mom on the cheek.
I didn't slip her any tongue or anything.
Yeah.
Charles is 16, Jacob is 15, James is 11 through this. Okay. Now, obviously, the family setup, close-knit family. They play in the bluegrass band and all that kind of shit, living in the middle of nowhere. 19. He's still there. He's never been on a date. He's never done any. And not that we're saying that the opposite sex or same sex or whatever you're into is the end-all, be-all to shit, but he's not allowed to even be interested in it.
That's
which
great.
at 19, your dick is so hard.
Oh, boy.
That
He's
you
been
are
jerking off in your shower for 5 years.
He's very interested in something, some other human being. So the family motto, and they sing this in their songs, and when Kathy comes home at the end of the wife swap, she says it right away. It might be a hard life, but it's a good life. A whole song about all that and all that kind of shit here.
They should get family tattoos.
They should. I think that goes against everything, though.
Yeah.
Like I said, they're very devoutly Christian. Kathy stays at home, homeschools the kids, manages the band. So she has control over every aspect of the kids' lives.
Jesus.
They sell a lot of CDs and all that kind of shit. They are pretty popular in the bluegrass circuit. That's the thing. People like this. They're like Hanson of bluegrass.
This is a big get for the bluegrass community.
A big get, yeah. So tons of chores to be done around the house.
Yeah.
The boys, like we said, in the token program, they would receive an extra token if they did their chore with a, quote, glad heart.
I don't like those words.
Glad heart. Remember I said a smile?
Yeah.
That's weird. They could listen to them. Wow. No processed foods are allowed in the house as well. Nothing. Only organic and shit they've grown and grains and shit like that.
No ice cream.
No. They're not allowed to have any sweets, candy,
What?
candy prohibited, nothing like that. No. All organic, plain, nothing.
I hate that fucking word. It's such a buzzword.
It is, but I mean, for them, that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
They were pretty much farm to table here, which is another stupid buzzword. Boys were active in raising of the animals as well as the butchering of the animals. And
I don't like that at all.
That's weird.
Yeah.
See, this is how you pop an arm off. But
God.
on a farm, though, that's normal, and it seems to be fine. But if you take that to the suburbs, that kid is going to dismember people.
For sure.
Now he just knows how. That's all.
Hang a cow and slit its throat? Jesus
But on the farm,
Christ.
it's okay. So
That's just normal.
It's different. Well, you have to, I guess. That's how it is. So there's no dating. Like I said, there's no music. There's no candy. There's no TV. There's no video games. There's There's practicing bluegrass, reading the Bible, and doing your homeschooling.
And there's farming. Yeah.
And farming, and lots of chores here. And the 19-year-old is not allowed to hang out with a girl. He can't go anywhere and talk to a girl. He's not allowed to. If he went to Dairy Queen and stopped for a cone and a girl started talking to him, he has to walk away. He's not allowed to talk to her because she could get pregnant.
We'll slap that fucking cone out of your hand, too.
She can get pregnant. Yeah. Holy shit. So they said that dating was to be delayed until they were actually ready to get married and settle down with a girl. But how do you know?
How do you do that? Yeah.
And then once you find the girl, how do you talk to her and know anything about her? She has to be just as naive as you.
Right.
Or else she's going to think you're weird. It's just the way it is. So, yeah, they said that it's normal to think about girls, but this was sinful in this house. It's considered sinful. They talked to 16-year-old Charles about dating at one point, and they were telling him on the show, you could see that, it's not a good idea to date until you get married.
Okay.
Once you marry a girl, then you can take her out once or twice.
Then you can start dating.
Then you can start dating. If things go well, maybe you can slip a kiss in after a few months, but let's take it slow. Marriage first, and then we'll go from there. So we'll get into the manual, but quickly here that Kathy gets up at 7, cooks breakfast for the family. Dad would get up and work on the farm at 5:30, so Kathy prepared breakfast for him the evening before so he could eat before he goes out. Breakfast is made. They wake the boys up around 7:30. They have 4 minutes from the time they're woken up to get downstairs and eat breakfast.
4 minutes.
4 minutes. There's a timer, so when it passes, if you don't come down, you give them 2 more minutes to arrive. Then, after that, she starts charging them 25 cents for being late. And it increases every 2 minutes until they come to the table. So if one of the kids wakes up and has to take a shit, it's going to cost him.
You better jam that bacon down your throat before.
If he wakes up, he's like, oh, man, I need a couple of minutes. No, not like that.
There's 5 of us. Right when you wake up, you have to pee.
Yeah, tough.
Each piss takes 30 seconds to a minute.
Tough shit.
Oh, my God.
stand around together like a bluegrass band and all piss in the same bowl, and you can harmonize while you do it. Well, we're pissing in the same bowl, and it's splashing on my knees. I felt my water come up from my brother's fucking pee. That's right, I said. I don't know.
Gross. They would all have pee on each other.
Each other's pee. It'd be disgusting. And then after that, homeschooling begins at 10 a.m. She rings a bell outside to let them know it's time for school. They homeschool for an hour. Then they do their outside chores, which is letting the chickens out, feeding them, picking up their eggs, mowing the fields.
Yeah.
They serve lunch at 1. No snacking is allowed between meals at all.
No snacks.
No. So they're always hungry, I would assume.
Yeah.
At lunch, they practice together. After lunch, they get together and do band practice.
Okay.
So far, I've had 1 hour of school in here, by the way.
So far, I am fucking exhausted.
Not enough school.
I want to go back to bed.
No, well, it's not over yet, Jimmy, because at 4 o'clock now, I'm exhausted, but at 4 o'clock, you better have your wits about you, because it's debate time. It's debate lessons. And then school's over. So they have debate lessons and 1 hour of homeschooling. That's their education.
And the rest of it is taken up with bluegrass and work.
That's it. Then it's time for their evening chores, because, got to do that. That includes processing the chicken and any other farm duties. And in the evenings, they either have a concert to play at, which they have a lot of gigs, or if they don't, they'll just hang out and practice their music and then go to bed. That is a lot. There's no time to do shit else.
It's a busy day. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, the other family, because you pick, like we said, the most opposite families, the other family couldn't be more different. Couldn't be more, the Tonkovic family. And they're allowed, their kids do whatever they want. Yeah. And the kids are like 19 and 17, too, that they have.
You can't control those.
No, they're 19 and 17, which is barely even wife swap. It's like, well, that one's an adult.
One shouldn't be busy here, and the other one should be lease shopping right now.
Busy.
Yeah.
Something, just busy. So they are allowed to do anything they want. She has a girl and a boy. The 19-year-old's the boy, and the 17-year-old's the girl. And they both have their boyfriend, girlfriends living with them in the house.
Awesome.
They have a 17-year-old girl who has her boyfriend living there and sleeping in the same bed with her, and the same thing for the 19-year-old.
Get a mom who thinks that's sinful in here.
Wild. They're allowed to smoke in the house. They have parties in the backyard that we'll talk about that everybody participates in. They don't eat anything but like fast food and frozen pizza and shit like that.
On their own schedule, whenever.
Yeah. Mom's like, I got this, and she just comes in and throws a bag of burgers on the table, and they all ravage them. That's how it works.
Tear them apart, you jackals.
Yep. Eat, you fucking jackals. What is that? Swingers. Eat, you jackals.
Fucking jackals.
So, it is. It's Jon Favreau. So, that's how they do their business. Dad works like the second shift or something, night shift or some shit.
Middle of the day.
Dad looks like he's got like a traumatic brain injury or something, the way he acts.
Boy.
Like he's real flighty and like anytime there's any flustering, he's like, I gotta go have a cigarette. I don't know. I'm gonna go have a cigarette. I don't know. And he just goes and has a cigarette. He's not real. He doesn't really get his thoughts, gather them, and then give them to you in a succinct manner. They're really scattered. He's looking around all the time. And Mom's like a nurse or something. She puts on scrubs and leaves and works 3 days a week.
And then everybody else is just erratic in the house.
And the kids, none of them have jobs. 4 people that are like between 17 and 19, none of them have jobs. They all hang out.
Just banging in your bedrooms.
Just fucking in the house, in an empty house all day.
While erratic dad just chain smokes.
Yeah, sucking and fucking and chain smoking. And they're smoking weed in there. I mean, it's totally because, oh my God, here we go. I don't even know how to say all this because it's the funniest shit in the world. The son wants to be, as he puts it, and the son, Paul, is a blonde kid named Paul. He wants to be a hardcore rapper, as he says. That's his goal. Hardcore. He's got his live-in girlfriend that he's banging, sleeping with him. He goes by, his rap name is T-Vic, which is Tonkovic, which is his last name. T-Vic.
Did you get that new T-Vic album? That sounds stupid.
T-Vic's hot shit. Now, lyrically, he's something else. Lyrics are as follows.
We've got his views.
I got lyrics. Well, because they show clips of them, and one of the clips is him. They're at the backyard party, and mom and dad are dancing. And
he's just spitting?
He's rapping for the party here, okay? And he's terrible. He's
the entertainment for the party.
He says, and I quote, roses are red.
Oh, no.
Baby, violets are blue.
Yeah, they are.
Come on and be my Cinderella, and I'll bring you a shoe. Okay. That's a lyric, he said.
The fuck is he doing?
Except in the most horrible fucking suburban way possible that he said it.
Yeah.
Another lyric that this is something he was recording. He was sitting before like a 2007, 2008 computer.
Sound booth, yeah.
Big one. No, just the computer with a fucking mic in front of it. And he said, what you know about it, homie, nothing. You get cooked like a muffin in the oven. He was recording that to make sure it didn't go away. Because when you come up with...
So he made sure that he wouldn't forget it.
When you come up with fire like that, you don't want to later on go, what was that lyric? Fuck! I always forget it. You don't want to do that. So you got to record it forever.
Get baked like a... Who would get baked? That doesn't even make any sense. Yeah. I wish I could remember what
was it? Something about cooking... Fucking maybe it has to do with... damn it. Meatloaf? I'm not sure.
Betty Crock. What did I say?
Shit. Duncan Hines is in this shit. Something. Fuck me.
Get yourself a recipe. Get the best of me. God damn it. I can't remember.
Damn it. You know what? Hold on. Let me get my girlfriend in here to give me a blowjob. Close the door. He even says in seven...
nothing.
What you know about it, homie? Nothing. Nothing. You get cooked like a muffin in the oven. That's how he said it. I feel like he's trying to be Eminem. Like he's trying to do that.
He's trying
style,
to do that
rhyme.
Second rhyme thing. Yeah,
that rhyme structure is what he's trying to do. But it's
that guy's been doing it for 12 years already. Famously, you don't get to
muffin?
In the oven.
It's a muffin. Just sounds. It's just a rapper saying muffin doesn't sound tough, right? Is muffin the least tough word we have in the English language? What's less tough than muffin?
Yeah, the punchline of the rhyme has to sound tough.
It can't be cooked like a muffin in muffin. The scariest person in the world could come up to you and you're like, oh shit, and they'd be like, you want a muffin? And you'd be like, oh, he's a nice guy. He's got muffins. There's no way to be scary if you're talking about muffins. It's just not a thing. You get cooked like a muffin in the oven.
Every time, it's so funny.
I tried to take a sip of water. I almost, oh God, I choked.
Why is he so, oh God, Jesus. He thought that was great.
Water came out of my nose, but it shouldn't shoot out of my eyeball too, which is what happened. I somehow forced it up through my eyeball as well. It's all connected in there. Oh, man.
He thought if I get this on network TV, I'm going to be a monster.
I got cooked like a muffin in the oven on that one. Oh, man. Yeah, so he was like, this is two different families, like, we can get our music out there.
Oh, this is so good. Oh, the only winner is Wife Swap.
It's amazing. I highly recommend the episode. It's on Hulu.
Oh, I can't
if you have Hulu, it's
it.
Season 4, Episode 15, Stockdale.
Oh, tonight's going to be great.
So watch it here. Everybody out there. In 7th grade, he was voted most likely to be a rapper. I didn't know that was a category. Was that a category in 7th grade? Most likely to be a rapper?
Shit. I don't think I don't think there was any most likely anything. I think
No.
The only thing most likely in 7th grade was you'll be in 8th grade next year.
Yeah. Most likely to get their period in the next week. This girl. Yeah.
Most likely to do this grade again, or most likely to be in 8th grade. That's all you were.
That's it. That's all there is. So the family manuals are the first thing in Wife Swap here. Teaching you how to cook a muffin in the oven.
Mm-hmm.
Homie, nothing. You get cooked like a muffin in the oven. I can't say it without laughing.
Like a turkey with the stuffing.
Like a turkey with the stuffing and the muffin in the oven. Like some witches in a coven. What's up? So... here it is. They sit down with the family manual, and this is how the new mom gets to introduce to the family. And we have never had. I wish every small town murder, someone involved would write everything about their family that I could know about, because this is amazing.
Expose. This is great.
That's it. So here it is, family manual. Welcome to our home.
Here
Kathy
we are,
writes in it.
Stockdales.
We're not just a family band, or we're not just a family, we're a band, the Stockdale Family Band. We play bluegrass and barn dances and shindigs all over our area. Shindigs. We have Calvin on banjo, Charles on mandolin, Jacob on fiddle, and James on upright bass. Tim, my husband, is on guitar, and I'm the manager. A family that plays together stays together, and there's nothing so wholesome as playing old-time bluegrass with your favorite people, your family.
Yep.
She did use a semicolon correctly there, which I'm pretty excited about. That's good stuff for you, Kathy. We moved to the country to get the boys away from the city. Our children are being raised away from violent language, sexual influences, drinking, smoking, rap music, all the things we left behind in the city. Instead, we're raising our children on a diet of wholesome activities and farm work, keeping their minds pure and their bodies healthy, and keeping out the influences of modern society. That is why we homeschool. Children need structure, and there's plenty of structure in this house. Our boys know what they're supposed to be doing from sun up to sundown. They're busy doing chores, running the farm, doing schoolwork, and, of course, practicing for performances. Everything they need is here on the farm with their family.
Sure.
That's disturbing. Everything they need is here on the farm with their family. You cannot possibly... provide a well-rounded enough experience to produce a normal adult in that environment.
Yeah, and if they get hurt and the hospital's gauze is not here.
No. I mean, you go there, but yeah.
Yeah.
It's still, I think if you have 5 kids, you might get 1 or 2 that are just quick to figure shit out. Once they get out there, they can kind of stumble a couple times and figure it out. But then you're going to get 1 or 2 that are completely fucking lost in the world. They're not going to be able to navigate anything.
They're Will Ferrell and Elf. Everything is so weird here.
Everything is so weird here. We teach our boys to succeed, that to succeed, you have to have a good work ethic. We raise chickens, process chickens, and what we don't eat, we sell. We all pitch in, and I can gut a chicken in under 4 minutes.
Good God.
That's quite the statistic. I don't think we've ever had on Small Town Murder, this is episode 461, I don't think we've ever had a chicken gutting statistic before on here.
Yeah, the back of her chicken gutting baseball card is crazy.
It's like 4 minutes, damn. That's not, it's like the 4-minute mile, It's tough. You got to...
4 minutes?
4 minutes.
Does that include defeathering?
I have no idea.
Right?
Beats the shit. I would assume the gutting would be the quicker part than the feathering.
Yeah,
that would be the hard part.
Just whack ahead, slice, and grab and pull, right?
Yeah, I think you could do that over and over. The boys receive tokens for every chore they do, and an extra token if they do it with a glad heart. Now, if you're coming in from the outside, you're like, "What the fuck is a glad heart?"
What is that?
How do I decide whether something's a glad heart?
Where do you guys keep the glad hearts around here?
Yeah, they trade their tokens for privileges like listening to the radio or for a stick of gum. Okay. Now, I would like to imagine all of us collectively right now, as a whole, listenership, Jimmie, myself, all of us are sitting at the kitchen table with this manual in front of us, and we're going to live in this house for the next 2 weeks. First week under these rules. So just let's all put ourselves there, okay? Wow. Processed and fast foods are forbidden. Food is nourishment for the mind as well as the body, so it's important to eat right. We mostly only eat foods that we grow or we buy from local farmers that we know. That way we know it's healthy and natural. I give my boys a large spoonful of cod liver oil after dinner to keep their hearts and minds strong.
Yeah.
Okay. I knew, she just feeds it to them too, like an old,
Plug your nose.
TV and video games are banned. They produce redundant minds and lazy children. I want my boys to be active, productive, and busy every waking moment. Internet access is restricted. There's no idle surfing in this house. Instead, we enjoy spending time reading to each other, playing music, or storytelling. Storytelling.
It's on the internet. They don't have any fucking stories.
There's going to say they've never left the house. They barely leave the house. What fucking stories do they have?
The only story they got is how they fucking cured an abscess on the horse.
That was tough, boy. And all hands on deck for that one.
That Dr. Pepper bottle lit it. Got it hot.
The boys are not encouraged to date until they are ready to get married. They need to concentrate on building the right foundations for a healthy and moral life, not, and this is all capital letters, not thinking about girls.
Okay.
But that's you're going against nature. You really are. That's like saying this dog needs to walk and not sniff the other dog's poop. Like it's going to sniff its poop. That's what it does. It sniffs things.
I mean, she does that daily with the chickens aren't meant to stay in a fucking coop. Horses aren't meant to be in a corral, but she's corralling everything.
She's corralling everything. She is the head corraller here.
Yeah.
There is plenty of time to worry about that when they have found their bride-to-be and are ready to settle down. How do you do that?
Can't do it.
You can't pick a girl out and go, that one, and then she's now my bride-to-be. I guess we'll start dating. That's not how it fucking works.
And she's going to have the same sexual interests as me forever. It's not going to happen.
Especially mom and dad met in college.
Right.
With lots of other people around. How many people
of freedom.
Yeah, how many people did they talk to and get to know before they found one that they really clicked with?
Yeah,
It's not the first one you talk to that's going to happen, and that's what they basically have to do. Find a woman, scope her out, and decide that, predict that you guys are going to be compatible. Like, that's crazy.
They met each other in the late 70s, early 80s in fucking Ohio State.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The amount of
85.
fun that they were having. Holy
85.
shit. Yeah.
She says, our motto is, it might be a hard life, but it's a good life. We are the Stockdale family. Kathy, 44, Tim, 48, Calvin, 19, Charles, 16, Jacob, 15, James, 11. Okay. Now, the household under that category, how do you divide the roles? We live in very traditional roles in this household. I stay at home and take care of the cooking, cleaning, teaching our boys, and managing the family band. Tim, my husband, runs the farm with the boys and has a regular full-time job delivering animal nutrients to farms across the state. I am completely involved in my children's lives. I stay at home so that I can shape the way they grow up and how they are influenced. Yeah. It's important for children to have boundaries. They will have to live in a world that has rules, and if they don't learn to comply, now they're going to have an even harder time later in life. Okay. Nothing is free for the boys. Everything has to be earned. I teach the boys value and respect by using the token system. The boys collect tokens by doing chores with a glad heart to exchange for things they want. They can learn to value their privileges and don't just come to expect them. There's questions that you have to answer. What are the general views on cleaning? I have a rule, Kathy says, that if you make the mess, then you clean it up. And as the boys make most of the mess, they do the cleaning. Our family motto is, it may be a hard life, but it's a good life. Do you have a cleaning person or hired help? If so, why? If not, why? She says, chores are a part of daily life here and a great lesson for the boys to learn from. Hiring someone to clean the house would simply take away that benefit from the boys. Besides, no one said life was easy.
Rakuten is the smartest way to save money when you shop because you earn cash back at over 3,500 stores. Fashion, beauty, electronics, home essentials, travel, dining, concert tickets, and more. Your favorite stores like Lowe's, Levi's, and Nike pay Rakuten to send them shoppers. And Rakuten then passes on a part of that payment to its members as cash back. You're already shopping at your favorite stores. Why not save while you're doing it? It's a no-brainer. Membership is free and easy to sign up. Get the Rakuten app now and join the 17 million members who are already saving. Cashback rates change daily. See Rakuten.com for details. That's Rakuten. Your cashback really adds up.
Escape reality and immerse yourself in a gripping tale of mystery, murder, and romance with June's Journey. Join June as she unravels the truth behind her sister's mysterious death, and use your observation skills to find hidden clues and uncover dark secrets. Plus, you get to explore stunning hidden object scenes, from New York parlors to Parisian sidewalks, as each chapter reveals captivating mysteries. How sharp are your observation skills? Put them to the test in June's Journey. Download for free today on iOS and Android.
Who does the following and how often? Vacuuming and dusting. She says, I split the cleaning up and assign rooms to Charles, Jacob, and James to vacuum and dust. Making the boys do the work is not only practical, but a good exercise for them in learning responsibility. Cleaning the bathroom. James is the youngest in the family, so he cannot do all the same chores as the other boys. Cleaning the bathroom is something he can achieve and gives him a lesson in responsibility.
Okay.
Clean your brother's shit. Clothes washing and ironing. I do the washing in the house at least twice a week. We're not into big brand names here. What's practical is what is best. It's Charles' task to hang the washing up and fold it when it's dry. All the chores in the house need doing, so if one of the boys doesn't like a task, then I find something he does like. No one in the family gets a free ride. The boys have to learn that the only way to succeed is by working. Cleaning the kitchen. In this house, no one stands around while watching everyone else do work. She keeps saying the same thing with that.
Yeah.
We're working. We get
still.
it.
Yeah.
You're all
Keep
industrious.
Yeah.
I teach the boys if you receive, then you must give as well. Charles cleans up the dishes after the meals, and James cleans up the table and helps put the food away. It says, other, we do not look at chores as free slave labor. We are giving our children a good work ethic and selfless attitude. It keeps us grounded and bonds us together. Sounds like she's trying to convince herself of it or something.
She's not right.
Like, so if you have to say the same thing over and over,
You're
it's
legitimizing
like, are you sure about
it. Right.
this?
Why do you keep saying it to you?
We like to teach our boys to work with their hands. This means chores, yard work, and cleaning, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But when it's every waking second, that's a different story.
It's weird. Yeah.
Then you're not a kid. How many pets do you have, and what do they require? We run this farm to provide our family with a sustainable and wholesome life. That means raising our crops and chickens in a free-range organic environment, free of steroids and antibiotics. The food that we grow is more natural and tastes better for it. They said, how many pets do you have? This is her answer.
We got a lot of animals.
They're telling you how they do their chickens.
We slaughter animals.
Yeah, we have 70 hens, which gives us all our eggs, 175 broiler chickens, which we process, sell, and also use to eat, and one duck that thinks he is a chicken. Jacob looks after the chickens every day.
So the answer is one duck. That's the only pet we have.
That's what we have. We're not going to eat him. He feeds them in the morning and puts them in their coop in the evening. That's Jacob, 15.
Yeah.
That's
but
his
those
job.
aren't pets.
No, his job is to look after the chickens, which is a gross and hard job.
It smells.
Cooking and meals. Who cooks for the family? Food nourishes the mind and body, so it's very important in this family. That's why I insist on giving the boys a spoonful of cod liver oil every dinner time. It helps keep their heart, bones, and brain healthy. I spend most of my day cooking 3 nutritious, old-fashioned home-cooked meals for my family, and it's certainly appreciated. I bring value to home-cooked meals by using quality ingredients that either we raise naturally on our farm or that we buy from other local farmers. I treat food with respect by using traditional food preparation rather than modern methods like microwaves and pasteurizing. It takes me longer to cook, but the proof is in the pudding. My food tastes better and it's healthier for you, and my boys are testament for that. To that. I make sure my boys drink healthily, too, with my water and dairy kefir. Kefir? K-E-F-I-R. It's a yeast, fruit, and water infusion that the boys just love to drink.
Kefir?
She introduces this to that family during the rule change. The other family, she's like, and you're not going to drink soda anymore. You're going to drink this. And she takes out a
vat of it?
A huge glass jar of it, like one of the big gallons of it.
Yep.
She goes, you're going to drink this. And the one girl goes, we have to drink mayonnaise? It looks just like mayonnaise. She goes, we have to drink mayonnaise? And she looks like she's going to cry. It's the funniest fucking thing I've ever seen. Oh, it's great. They just love it. Looks like a giant load of elephant jizz is what she got. Here's all of it. There we go. It's 2 gallons it released. Wow. We don't eat processed food or anything prepackaged. It just doesn't have any place in a wholesome, nurturing environment. I call that rubbish frankenfoods, like, Frankenstein foods.
Right. Yeah.
It's science experiments gone wrong. I insist on only eating food that is raised in its natural habitat, like our chickens. Does anyone else ever cook? Who and why? Kathy says, I like things done my way, the right way.
Oh.
That could have been the whole manual. She could have skipped everything and just said, I like things done my way, period. Done. I have started to teach Jacob and Charles how to cook some recipes like sausages and bread, but I have to be around to watch over them to make sure they do it right. You can't see what I mean? They can't even trial and error.
Anybody doing it? Yeah.
Can't even fuck it up and fix it next time and just, figure out what's good. Nope. I'll make you do it perfectly all the time. Do you all eat together, and where do you eat? The whole family eats together every meal unless Calvin is at college, Calvin, the other one, or Tim is out at work and can't get back. It's important family bonding time where we can get to talk with one another. Eating food in our house is a special event, and it's time to be savored, so we never rush a meal. Food forms the basis of who we are. So basically, they're like bluegrass Italians at this point. Like, we take our time and we really eat a lot of food. It's all right.
Our food means a lot to us.
It means a lot to us, and it's to be savored. Meals aren't to be rushed, because that's how it is there. Meals are not an obstacle. Meals are an event to be shared. Yeah, that's kind of how it goes. Slow food is better than fast food. Okay, what are your top dinners? Please include recipes. This will be fun. Sunday menu. Dinner link sausage on bread with sauerkraut and mustard and pickled beets.
That's breakfast?
That's Sunday menu. Yeah. Milk.
Oh, is it dinner?
I guess. Milk and water, kefir, cod liver oil, and butter oil. Whole food supplements, Catalin, every one each. Catalin? Catalyn?
Yeah.
One each.
It's a pill?
Digestive enzyme supplement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, these are. Oh, my God.
Mom, Dad, Calvin, and James, one each. Apparently, Jacob and Charles are fine. No, they're in the middle. James is the youngest and Calvin's the oldest.
Oh. What the fuck?
The middle kids are fine. Apparently, they don't need. They digest. Their
enzymes are Their enzymes are insane.
Faster than they can fucking eat. That's just all digesting. They think about food; it's digested. That's how it works. Monday menu. Oh boy, breakfast, giblets or giblets.
Yep, giblets.
Chicken hearts and gizzards. Giblets.
Gross.
Muesli. What the fuck is that? Muesli with cream, Muesli, like Mueslix, like that shit. Like
it's an enzyme. It's a powder.
Disgusting wheat slurry. Yep. Sounds like.
Yep.
With cream, sorghum or honey. Sorghum.
God. Yeah.
Raisins or dates, dairy kefir or water kefir with flaxseed. Yeah. Whole food supplements, calcium lactate. James,
she's giving them smoothies for breakfast.
That's pretty much it. James times 6, whole food supplements, Catalan, everyone one each, digestive enzyme supplements, Mom, Dad, Calvin, and James one each. Okay.
We're just taking pills and drinking a slurry. That's it.
Well, not quite. That's breakfast, though, and the giblets are a different thing. Then lunch, fried liver on bread and butter.
Gross.
Ugh, and mustard blueberry shakes. What the fuck are you putting together? Mustard and blueberry. I can't think of two things that go together worse than mustard and blueberry. That is fucking disgusting.
And is it beef liver?
It's fried liver. I don't know.
It could be anything.
Liver.
It could be fucking chicken livers.
God damn it. Mustard blueberry shakes. That's disgusting. That's even worse. Supper, sardines on hot buttered toast with mustard, sauerkraut, tomato soup, and pickled eggs.
That's dinner?
I would like everyone out there who has a kid close to 11 years old and tell them
Try to
when
give
they
them
say, "What's for dinner tonight?" Tell them sardines on hot buttered toast with mustard, sauerkraut, tomato soup, and pickled eggs, and see what the fuck they say. That kid will run away and you'll never see him again.
Sardine sandwich.
I could not get
Sardine
my son
sauerkraut.
sardine with I couldn't get my son to eat that for all the money, all the bribery, anything in the world. I could never.
Is that
get
just
my son
an
to eat
S
that.
meal? Soup, sauerkraut, sardines,
hot buttered toast is fucking it all up. Then the same milk and water kefir and the supplements.
Yeah,
that is disturbing. Wow, she doesn't give Wednesday through whatever, so it's just 3 days of the week here. I don't know how that works here.
Oh, she knows that they're going to go home by then.
Yeah, she'll be running away in horror by then. Even when we're on the road, we take our own food with us.
Wow.
Even on the road, apples, cold chicken, crackers, and cheese. We can usually survive on this until we get back home from a trip. Jesus, they eat like a feature comic going around the country trying to actually make a profit from the weekend. I brought my own apples and cold cheese from home, sir.
I have a rotisserie chicken in my backpack.
I pick at it. After every set, I get one bite. If it's a good set, I get a bite. Has to last me the whole weekend, Thursday through Sunday.
I'm down to the thighs.
God damn it. How often do you or your family eat junk food, fast food? What kind do you eat? Mm-hmm. She says, processed prepackaged food is a gross resemblance of the real thing. It's not real food for real people. We never eat fast food. In fact, anytime James has eaten it, he has thrown up.
James sounds like he's got a lot of problems.
Yeah, it sounds like James. It's more than dairy, I think, with James.
You might be allergic to a lot of things.
Yeah, I think there's a whole bunch of stuff. I think you guys, your genetics ran out by the time you got to James, possibly. I'm not sure. No, I'm just kidding. That's not true at all. Actually, James, they all say, like, in the band, like, he's one of the more talented members of it. He's kind of the catalyst of everything.
Yeah.
And James on the show, he seems like a cool kid. He really does. Yeah. Like, stuff that she brings up, like, one point they're sitting there and the other mother says, "What would you do if you didn't have to do all these chores?" And he's like, "I'd have a lot of free time." And he's just got a big smile. And the lady's like, "But what would you do?" And he goes, man, he thinks about it. He just goes, I mean, I'd run around with my brothers, like that's it. And goes back to coloring. And I'm like, what a cool fucking kid. And this lady went outside.
Out there, I think.
Yeah. This lady went outside and cried because he couldn't think of anything else to do. But he's such just a nice kid. That's what he wants to do. And he knows of nothing else. So I like James. He's a nice kid. So they say that James has eaten and he's thrown up. We try to eliminate all processed food because it is unnatural and unhealthy for you. Shopping. Who does the grocery shopping? Living on a farm means we grow most of our own food, so we don't use the store too often. When we do, we try and shop locally. Well, no, we'd like to drive 3 hours to pick up some fucking flaxseed. Yeah. That way, we are putting dollars back into the community. We buy what we can't grow ourselves, which is bananas, rice, canned meats and fish, salmon and herring, and a few spices.
Okay.
Canned salmon. How often? During the summer, I go to the store once a month, but always combine it with a trip for the boys, like taking Jacob to his fiddle class. That way we can save on fuel bills. Does anyone help with the grocery shopping? I buy all the supplies myself. Sometimes the boys come with me, but I usually go on my own. Who chooses what is bought? I think we know the answer to this. Yeah. I'm the cook for this family, so I choose what is bought. Oh, boy. Okay. By the way, there's a fucking gross murders coming up here. Just to let you know, this isn't everything. So, are you morning people? If the boys are playing music in the evening, it's hard to stop them, so we end up going to bed a little later, around 11 p.m. If we go to bed late, then we always sleep in, maybe till 8 the next morning. What's the morning routine? I have breakfast with the boys at 8. Feeding the boys a good, hot, hearty meal in the morning means they can last until lunchtime without snacking. How many fucking times are you going to say that?
What the fuck?
She have that on a cut and paste. If the boys don't finish a meal, then they can't eat anything until the next meal, so they always finish what's on their plate. Okay. After breakfast, Charles and James clean up the breakfast dishes while Jacob goes out to feed the chickens and put any things that need recycling into the special bin. So they get to clean up dishes while one kid has to go out and slop chickens and fucking do like farm labor.
Right.
Jesus, Jacob, poor guy. Who prepares breakfast? Does the family eat together? She prepares breakfast. What time do the kids leave for school? I homeschool James, Jacob, and Charles, which starts first thing after breakfast. I have a rule that they are not allowed to do anything else until their schoolwork is done, unless it is music, which is part of their education.
We're bringing bluegrass into this.
Yeah. Homeschooling the boys means they're not affected by outside influences and are able to grow up in a safe and wholesome environment. Do you ever get to sleep in? We do not live by the clock. We live according to farm seasons and seasons of family life. Our schedule responds to the family's needs. Sometimes we stay up late at night. We just told you that. What's your schedule for the rest of the day? I run this house with structure and schedules. The boys all have chores and tasks to accomplish after breakfast, and I make sure that they do them. James scrubs the bathroom, Charles folds and hangs up laundry, and all three of them have to make their bed. I check up on each chore to make sure it's done correctly. My boys are so well trained that they usually do them to standard, but I have detailed reminders of what is expected in each room in case they forgot.
Jesus.
While the boys are doing their morning chores, I put together their daily schedule sheets listing everything I want them to accomplish. Charles, math, science, mandolin, and guitar practice, gather trash at house and take all trash cans to the road for pickup, weed whip, mowing garden, weeding, and what the hell is that? Oh, rototilling. I'm like, re-totaling? What the fuck are you talking about? Jacob, math class, math, science, history, memorization, drafting fiddle, chick brooder at 4 times a day. Oh, chickens. Okay. Yeah. Including before breakfast and the end of the day. Clean nest boxes, clean house clutter, garden weeding, and rototilling. Charles is also responsible for weed whipping, which is the less common weed whacking. Yeah. Whacking is a little too spicy of a term. But then again, whipping can be spicy too, but she doesn't look at it like that.
Yeah, but if we teach him to whack, he's just going to be out there in the shed all day.
He's going to be whacking and whacking and whacking. James waters the front garden and then sweeps the porch. There's always maintenance works and farm tasks to be done around here, so the boys help along with Tim when he's home. If the boys do a chore or task, I reward them with the token. It's important to reward good behavior. That way they learn not only the benefit through positive reinforcement. The boys can trade in tokens for privileges later in the day. Start lunch around noon. I like to serve around 1. A healthy body and nutritious mind is what we strive for, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, the chicken, if it is a chicken processing day, then we usually start around 3 p.m. and spend the rest of the afternoon processing the chickens for sale. It can be slightly messy eviscerating a chicken, but that's part of farm life.
Eviscerating.
Teaching the boys to communicate and think through an argument, this is why they do debate lessons, is a vital part of their education. It's also a good way for them to meet and learn to socialize with other people. They have to be around them, though.
Yeah.
They're teaching them this is how you do it. Debating your brother is how you talk to people, but they're not there to talk to.
Right, and your brother thinks and talks a certain way. Other people are going to talk and think other ways.
You're going to debate the same 3 people all the time. If the boys have a performance in the evening, then I like to prepare a light, hot meal for them around 5 before getting ready for their performance. I get the boys to load the CDs I sell at the concerts into the car and make sure they have all of their music and equipment loaded. When we're not having a performance, then we would start preparing dinner at 5 p.m. I would always sit down. We always have a sit-down family dinner at 6 p.m. It's so important to take your time over a meal and really enjoy spending time together. So do they have any extra classes or activities out after school? Who takes them? Who picks them up? She says, we do not push the boys to play sports because of the competitive nature of team games.
Yeah, that's the idea.
The glory-seeking can encourage too much of a self-centered aspect that is not a desirable in clean living children.
That's not a good trait to have.
No, but it also can teach you how to work as a team.
Yes.
Which also is good.
But that also, James, makes you rely on other people to do things. And when they don't do things because they're unreliable, then it's on you to do it.
And if you play sports, you know who hangs around? Girls. Yeah.
There's that whole line of them with those fucking pom-poms on the
Strumpets.
sidelines.
That's what they are. Harlots.
All those harlots. All those goddamn trollops on the sideline.
That's how it goes.
With short skirts.
Raising the boys in a wholesome environment means teaching them activities that will be useful to them in the future. I think it is good for them to learn to be practical with their hands, so Jacob and Charles have woodworking class on Mondays from 6:15 p.m., and all three of the younger boys have scouts on a Tuesday evening at 7.
Yeah.
Charles has mandolin lessons. Jacob has fiddle lessons. When do the boys do their homework? Do you help them? They said teaching a child that it is okay to fail is not acceptable in my book. I never pass the boys if they have a C or even a B. They have to achieve an A grade in a subject before moving on. That way they're always looking toward mastering the subject.
That's not okay.
That is not okay. That's definitely
terrible.
That is
a B is not failure.
No, I've seen the result of that when you're too much with your kid.
When you demand excellence,
perfection, and it is not good later on. A lot of times they break the fuck down because they can't take it if they fail.
Right.
Nobody can be perfect at everything. That's the thing. And when they're not,
And
think Breakfast Club, Anthony Michael Hall. Remember that?
Right.
That's what I'm talking about.
And if you want a perfect world, in a perfect world, you die before your child. And if you've demanded excellence his entire time, he's relying on you
to tell him what's excellent.
Right.
Yeah. So
you're going to die eventually.
Yeah, that's what you have to. You're going to leave them to have to. They're going to have to fend for themselves at some point.
Right.
It's what you want. So in the evening, it says, if you work outside the home, what time do you get home? My life is centered on the home and boys. I'm the mother, school teacher, cook, and band manager of this family. I get the boys up and schedule their day from the moment they wake up to the moment they go to sleep.
Wow.
Jesus, I don't believe in having idle hands or idle boys, so I try to keep them busy and teach them a good work ethic. I provide a safe, wholesome environment for the boys to grow up in, and I monitor and control the inputs into their life so that they receive the right education. I monitor and control the inputs into their life.
What a great show.
Wow, that is crazy. I do not allow the boys to watch TV at all, and if they want to trade in their tokens to watch a movie or listen to the radio, then it's from a selection that I have pre-vetted.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want them listening to or watching horror movies or inappropriate language. It is important to limit the contact the boys have with the ills of the world. Just because it exists doesn't mean it's good or healthy, and especially not for children.
Wow.
Holy shit, man.
In 2008, she was talking like this.
She was, this is what I mean. It's tough. It's easier to control and censor the inputs into the children's lives being out here in the countryside. She came right out and said it. Control and censor. Do they have set bedtimes? I run this family to a tight ship with their schedules, but we are not slaves to the clock. They say that again. James and Jacob usually go to bed at 9:30. Charles goes to bed at 10. And Calvin decides when he wants to go to bed because he's a fucking adult. He's 19 fucking years old. Jesus Christ. It's a good thing he doesn't have a bedtime. What's the bedtime routine? They say that if they're not playing music, I will read to the boys from one of the classics. After all, if you read well, you think well. I don't want my mom reading me to sleep at 19. Get the fuck out of my room. There's masturbating to be done in here. Leave, please.
What's the classics?
The classics. That's what I mean. I have no idea. And maybe like classics, like classic literary selections, like literature, or
like
maybe she
Petra
means
and the Rye.
No, she probably means like
Huck Finn.
The fucking Iliad and Homer and all that shit. Probably, you know what I mean?
Odyssey.
Yeah. The boys have gone to bed. Tim and I spend time with each other talking through the day's events and planning the days ahead. With so much going on all the time, it is important to us to have time with one another. So they go to bed sometime after the boys go to bed. If we move one of the cars into the driveway, we can pick up a local bluegrass radio show, so we usually spend the afternoon on the porch listening to that.
With a car in the driveway.
With a car, yeah. Crank it. They got a huge system in there, though. It's wild.
Yeah.
So Sunday evening, same thing. Education. My aim is to give the boys the ability to explore the world in a safe environment. Well, that's the oxymoron. That's not going to happen. The world is not safe.
No.
There is no playground bullying or peer pressure here, and I do not allow criticism between the boys. They're not even allowed to break each other's balls.
Until debate time.
What's the point of having brothers if you can't break their fucking collusions? What's the point?
Yeah.
Why bother? That's the whole point of everything is, hey, I mean, look at you fucking bum. And
that's the whole point of Monkey Doos.
That's the whole point. The whole point of Monkey Doos. That's a Your Stupid Opinions reference that you should check out on. No one fails my classes. They're only allowed to continue on with the subject when they've mastered it, so they all get A's. It's important the boys... How often is she like, good enough, I can't fucking teach this idiot this subject anymore.
I'm so tired of talking about George Washington.
All right. This one, not good at math. Let's just say that. It's important the boys are well-read and that they can speak properly. Higher education is not so important, though, as it doesn't always equate to success. We teach the boys they can be successful through entrepreneurial self-employment by making them earn their own money. There is no free on this farm. By the way, all the kids go to college.
Really?
The fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Just about all of them, anyway, we'll talk about. Did you or your partner go to college? Both Tim and I went to college and studied agriculture. That's where we met each other in agronomy class and started to date before getting married. Although I dated when I was at college, I don't want my boys to date until they're ready to get married. Even though I did it and it worked out fine and here I am happy, I don't want them to have the same choices, though.
She has regrets.
Yeah, because somebody was mean to her at some point.
Yeah,
That's fucking life. Now you appreciate the person who's nice to you 10 times fucking more.
There it is.
That's life. Charles is already asking questions about it, so I sit down with him and explain that it's not the best thing to do just yet. Teenagers can suffer emotional traumas or even diseases by focusing their lives on dating too early. I remember wasting so much of my time on dating. Now that I look back, it just seems so pointless. Yes, that reflection is how maturing happens, and you have to do those things to then reflect on them.
She got crabs, and she's upset about it.
Yeah, somebody gave her something, and she's not been able to get rid of it since.
Yep.
When they have established themselves, then they can go out looking, but not until then. I will not have them herpified like me.
I don't want them to have breakouts like this.
Oh, God. Do you homeschool your children? I homeschool the boys, obviously. Are there rules about homework? We know what those are. Is it important your children go to college? The boys don't get anything free from us, and money doesn't grow on trees around here. They have to work for their own money. Even though Calvin has started at college, I don't think that it's always a recipe for success. We believe in entrepreneurship first and foremost. Yeah, but one of them wants to be a doctor. You can't just have your own doctor business. Calvin, Calvin too, will go on to medical school.
Really?
You can't do that on the farm. He wants to be a fucking doctor. Like
that's an entrepreneurial spirit for sure by opening your own practice, but you've got to be gone for that.
These parents' minds aren't open enough to even understand that the kids might have an interest outside of agriculture because that's all they were interested in. So they don't get that maybe the kid will be interested in this or that or something bigger or something in the world. Maybe who knows?
So as asparagus.
Leisure and social life. Life is not about entertainment and fun. I do not promote a lot of leisure time for the boys. A lot of emphasis in the teen world is placed on hanging out with friends. We do not hang out. I insist.
We don't have friends around.
We don't have friends. No one will be friends with me. I insist that the boys have a focus and purpose to any activity so that the boys do not become corrupted by meaningless relationships. What do you do as a couple? We nurture a family environment so we are together all the time as it should be. If we do have time to ourselves, then we spend it lying in the fields looking at the sky or stars or just enjoying one another's company outside on the porch.
Yikes.
Wow. I am definitely stricter with my boys than my parents were on me. But America is a very different country now than when I was growing up. You grew up in the fucking 70s when it was everything was 100% worse. What the fuck are you talking about? Every crime rate, half of what it was in the 70s. Every drug rate, half of what it was in the 70s. Everything is better than in the 70s when it comes to that kind of shit.
I've never heard anybody say, I am so much harder on my kids than my parents were.
Wow. Yeah, that is...
Everybody's game and goal is to be nicer to their children than their parents were to them.
Yeah, usually. Yeah. I try to limit the amount of influence the 21st century has on my boys, but they're going to have to live in that century.
Right. That's like the 18th century to have more influence on them.
No, that's what it is. I want my boys to concentrate on the good things in life, like family unity, music, and education. Their daily lives are not distracted with modern technological obstacles that entertain them to death. I always say if it's fun, it doesn't mean you have to do it.
Jesus Christ.
Wow.
Why don't you have a life of no fun? Fun sucks.
Wow. And she says, I'm the disciplinarian in the house, but Tim backs me up. We both believe in homeschooling. Are your children well behaved? We try to have not only wholesome foods, but wholesome attitudes and wholesome speech. So we do not swear in our household. Wow, that's so strange. The boys behave that way as well. I don't want my boys to make the same mistakes that I made, like spending too much time on dating. So I try to instill the lessons. Who hurt you, Kathy? Who's that guy at Ohio State that left a load on you and hurt you? Who did it?
Called you a fat whore and walked out after he came on you.
She said that way they can benefit from my experiences. That is a lot. So discipline is they use the token chart thing.
Yep.
There's no discipline otherwise. By limiting and controlling media and other modern distractions in the house, we spend more time as a family doing simple things in life like talking and playing music together. Oof. Their relationship with the partner, we need very little external material things to make our relationship happy. We enjoy the simple things in life and enjoy them together. What annoys you about your partner? Tim finds it hard managing his own time. He lives very much in the present and doesn't think about the consequences of spending 100% of his own time on the here and now without planning for the future. Wow, that is something.
She is really it sounds like she resents Tim.
Yeah, it really does. It really fucking does, man. That's the thing. It's there. She's in control, and I think she resents that maybe that Tim gets to go out and leave the house. I don't know. Yeah. But she likes the control of the house. Now, on the show, their house, the Tonkovic house, the other house, from the outside looks very nice. It's like a suburban house. Inside, shit everywhere. It's a mess. The fucking burger wrappers and all that. Total opposite on our guys here, the Stockdales. Outside of the house looks like an abandoned farmhouse. Paint's all peeling off.
Yeah.
It looks depressing. Inside of the house, spotless, perfectly clean. Yeah, she's got a labor force in there cleaning. So Charles says this, quote, they ask him about girls, quote, I've never been on a date. There's better ways to find out about girls than dating.
How?
What fucking better ways are there to find out about girls than to be around girls? That's how you find out about them. What the hell are you talking about?
It's like that's like a guerrilla scientist saying, I'd just rather read about them.
That's it. There's better ways to learn about them than studying them.
Than being in the mist with them.
Than being in the mist. So during the rule change, Kathy decides that the kids can't, they have to work and do all this shit, when she goes to the other house.
Oh,
she then says,
is not going to be happy.
No, he's not allowed to curse anymore. No more smoking, they say, and all that. She says, now the two couples here, you guys ready to get married right now?
Oh, boy.
And she brings out a priest and says, are you ready to get married? We'll marry you right now. And they're like, no, we're 18. And she goes, okay, well, then you can't sleep in the same room together. Boys sleep in the basement together and the girls do it, dormitory style. We do it
Holy.
So they're not happy about that. And she wakes up the next morning and says, I smelled smoke last night. And he's like, I was smoking. No one's going to tell me not to smoke. So when you go to sleep, they're smoking and fucking. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
So the other
Guess
mom...
what happened right before that smoke?
Yeah, fucking pounded. The other mom brings in video games and cable TV to the Stockdale family.
Oh, shit. She's going to ruin their music career.
She also wants them to write raps and perform them, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
She wants the boys to try to get dates, too. Just to go have ice cream with a girl, please.
Yeah.
Tim freaks out. Calvin and Charles are against the idea of talking to girls. They're in tears. Oh, it's just not okay. I just don't want to do it. They're like,
you can't do it.
She's like, I'm not telling you to marry them or have sex with them. Just talk to them. And they're like, we can't. Okay, we can't. Cries his fucking eyes out. Then the lady says that she's smart. She goes, will you just do it as a person, just a favor for me? Just
try it.
For me, do it. Not just for me. And they go, okay, just for you, we'll do it. But they were horrified by it. They take them to like an alley with three black guys who do freestyle, and they're like, do your bluegrass raps.
Yeah.
And they do bluegrass raps where they have the whole thing, and we were in the city and something, and now we're chilling. It's really bad. It's really fucking embarrassing. Oh, and people were killing, but now we're chilling. They rhyme killing and chilling. It's not good. You don't want to be there. It's still better than the other guys, though.
We were chicken killing, and now we're city chilling.
Still better than being cooked in the oven like a muffin. like a muffin in the oven. Sorry,
like a muffin in the oven.
In the oven.
What an asshole.
So they do the show. They fight at the end. The one woman calls Kathy a terrible mother and an awful person and just a nightmare and a control freak, fucking lunatic bitch.
Hell yeah.
Every name you could call her. They have to leave. The Tonkovic family has to leave and have a cigarette in the middle of it and come back because they're so worked up about what a bitch this lady is. And according to them, because the husband hated her in the house too, hated her fucking guts. Oh, hated her. It just, she called the one boy's girlfriend a mooch. You're mooching off these people, and she's like, you don't talk to my family like that, calling them names and blah blah blah. So after the show, they continue with their band. Jacob also fiddled with another band, the Holmes County Bluegrass Band, until 2014.
Never heard of them.
Over the years, Jacob racks up a bunch of awards and shit, including the Ohio Grand Fiddle Champion in 2012.
Hey.
In 2015, Jacob and James make a duet album together called Farm Fresh.
Like the eggs.
Like the eggs. Now, I'd like to show you a picture Jacob posted on his Instagram or something from 2016. Here he is.
Oh,
that's Jacob with a bird there.
With a hawk.
With a hawk.
Yeah.
And he said, this is my spirit animal, is what he said. His name is Frank. He brings out my inner falcon.
Okay. Oh, it's a falcon.
And that's his face there. That face is scary.
He looks, looks like he's a linebacker.
And it said, enjoyed our time in Stockdale, Indiana. That's, I guess there's a Stockdale in Indiana.
Yeah.
Touring an 1857 water-powered flour mill before performing at the Rowan, Indiana Covered Bridge Festival. That's what they do.
Oh, boy.
His brother Calvin commented, he looks scared of you. I would be too with a face like that, meaning he looks crazy, Jacob, in the picture. 2017. As of 2017, the eldest sons have moved away from the homestead here.
Both
and left everything. Oldest Calvin works at Hillsdale College in Michigan, which is a liberal arts school in the south central portion of the state. And then second oldest brother, also Calvin 2, was studying to be a doctor in Philadelphia.
Hey.
Yeah, so it's not bad here, but they both went to school to get an education because they wanted to do stuff. Joe Steiner, who's a banjo and harmonica player from Findlay, Ohio, began playing with the band for professional gigs because the other kids are gone.
Yeah.
But the Stockdale, the band remains popular performing unit, although now it's just Jacob on the fiddle, James on the upright bass. The dad's still there, and then they bring the other guy in and do some shit too. Sure. So that's how it works. James says they talk about how much they do miss playing, meaning the two Calvins. When we're all together, we pretty much spend our days playing. So that's how this goes here. You got Joe Steiner in there. The Stockdale show, they got their bluegrass and their standards and all that kind of shit. They have ads in here for their shows, too. They were $10 for 12 and older.
Okay.
Free admission, 11 and younger. Oh. So 2017, they're doing all this, like we said. Calvin, and Charles had all moved out of the home and are living their own lives. And it's Jacob, James, Kathy, and Tim who live at the home now. That's it. James was also a business management major at Kent State University. So he lives at home, but he's doing that. Yeah. So he's going to school. He's 21 at the time. June 15th, 2017 is when the police received that 911 call from the beginning at 4:36 p.m. with the hang-up.
Right.
They hung up. Obviously, this family has a landline. Authorities dispatch police to the location, which is the farm. Upon arrival, they see an individual on his back laying there, head toward the door. Heard the gunshot. They ran. Now, once the cops do enter the residence now, we're up to that part. One officer finds a body laying near the front door with an apparent wound later on, well, that's the other one, I'm sorry, the shotgun lying at his side. That's someone downstairs. Then they find another individual deceased, and then a third individual lying on the floor in the upstairs bathroom with an apparent gunshot wound. Okay. So this is what happens here. They get inside. They find all this. They find James lying on his side by the front door.
James is up front.
That's James there, 21-year-old. He's blown apart by multiple shotgun wounds.
Wow.
They find Kathy upstairs on the floor in the upstairs bathroom with gunshot wounds as well. This is a 20-gauge shotgun, by the way, that they're using. Then they find Jacob as well with the shotgun next to him with a shotgun wound to the head.
What the fuck?
He's still alive, Jacob. Everybody else is dead. He shot the other two and then tried to blow his brain. He called 911, hung it up so they'd come to the house, waited for them to get there as last minute he could, heard them coming, tried to blow his head off, but didn't finish the job.
Oh, no.
And fucked himself up good, though.
Where's his dad?
On a business trip.
Oh,
his dad's not home.
Wow.
His dad's out of town for the day.
He finally had enough.
He fucking had enough. And I'm sure he said, I'm going to kill you, Mom. And the brother said, calm down. He said, well, you'll get it too then, motherfucker, because I'm killing myself. I don't care.
Yeah.
So, they find them deceased. Like we said, between 10 and 12 shots were fired.
Yeah.
And only one was at himself. So
right. And that one that was at himself was fired when the cops were there.
When they were there. That's why they it's not too big of a mystery. They heard the last shot and he still had the gun next to him. So that's crazy. Kathy's body, like it was upstairs bathroom, like we said here. So Tim is on a business trip. He couldn't be found. They couldn't even contact him for a while. They were trying to contact him. Jacob is transported to Cleveland Hospital and listed in critical condition, but he ends up surviving the suicide attempt.
Really?
He survives it. Yep.
Oh, we get to talk to him?
And the cops are like, we don't get it. They've never been called to this home before.
Yeah.
Never been, not like we come here all the time. The kids are always fighting. Never been called there. He has no criminal record, no record of anything. Just everything's been fine. All he does is play bluegrass, for Christ's sake. So, they said they're still piecing this all together, trying to figure out what the fuck here is going on. They said never been called out before. Jacob's never been in trouble. The oldest boys had moved out, obviously. They said the band was still playing. The band was booked for the entire upcoming summer.
Still got the band together.
Makes no sense. They figured out quickly what happened. Everybody is shocked, obviously. People recall not only seeing them on Wife Swap, but at all these events. And they look like the ultimate family. They'd pile out of the van and get their instruments, and it's weird. So they said also no prior knowledge of any mental issues with Jacob or any other members of the family. Not that they would know or take care of them, but still. The sheriff said it's hard to, kind of surmise what the motive may have been. There's some speculation. Don't really want to get into that part of it, but we'll continue to investigate this case and determine if there's a motive. We just don't know. So
good news, somebody's alive. We can ask him.
We can ask him and see. But for now, he's not talking because he's fucked up pretty good. He blew half his head off. So they talked to Lori Tonkovic, who's the switched wife. They go, what do you think of this? Because that got to make you go, oh, shit.
T-Vic's mom.
She said, when I switched the rules, I hope she raps this. I hope it's all in rapping rhymes. When I switched the rules and I was going to let them have fun and have television and video games and experience a little bit of life, Jacob ran outside crying. And when I went after him, I asked him what was wrong, and he said that his mom and dad tell him that basically he would burn in hell if he played video games.
So you're going to make me burn in hell?
You're going to make me burn in hell. But that's how tightly wound this fucking kid is. He lived in a very controlled environment, really wasn't allowed to do anything. He worked, homeschooled him, wouldn't let him go out amongst society. They're very religious. They weren't allowed to make choices. I think that just caught up to them. Yeah. Tim released a statement saying, Kathy's been my beloved wife of 32 years and a wonderful mother to our 4 sons. She loved nothing more than being a mother and grandmother. She had a strong love of learning and was passionate about her Christian faith, natural health, and organic farming. Calvin, not sure which Calvin, said, James, our youngest brother, has always been the catalyst of family fun. Aside from being a gifted musician, James enjoyed dancing and had an innate love of people. James was working on a business degree and hoped to go into the business side of entertainment. He leaves behind many friends and a family that loved him dearly. My brother Jacob is still in critical condition, and we're praying for his physical recovery as our family makes funeral plans and begins the healing process. So, they said they appreciate prayers and all that kind of shit. Mm-hmm. They asked for privacy. There is a GoFundMe, okay, and the fans raised $28,500 first for the funeral costs, but then for Jacob's medical costs.
Really?
People are paying for this guy's medical costs after he blew his fucking family's brains all over his house.
Oh, my.
You can owe some money after that.
Victim?
I don't know. They're just seeing him as somebody they want to help out because the family's saying, let's help out the kid. Yeah. So they are. They're targeting $40,000 for this, and they're trying to do it. People are donating money saying for Jacob. It's crazy. Yeah. So the family forgives him. They say they still love him and everything else. The father says, I don't know why Jacob did what he did last week, but this is Calvin. But I do know he is my brother, maybe Calvin too, not sure. I speak for my family when I say we love him and forgive him. This was like the day after. Yeah.
Yeah. What? Huh. That tells you that there's something's off, man, and they understand why he would do what he did.
Yeah, they're not like, holy shit, what the fuck? They're like, I mean, I'm not sure why, but...
You don't forgive that
you know why.
Unless you know what happened, unless you feel and have some sympathy.
Yep. We continue to ask for continued prayers for Jacob's healing body, mind, and spirit.
Wow.
They also held a memorial for Catherine and James, a celebration of life. Yeah. They noted that Jacob will be undergoing several surgical procedures to put his head back together.
To fix what he did to himself.
It's wow. In lieu of flowers, they asked that people support the church's memorial fund. Give us money, not flowers.
Yeah.
In September of 2018, after finally being recovered from the gunshot wound to the fucking head, it's been over a year.
Holy.
He's finally charged with the murders.
The best case scenario is what he did, though. A 20 gauge is a much smaller gauge of shotgun.
Yeah.
At least it wasn't a 12. Yeah. Oh, my God.
He would have blown his head off.
Oh, Jesus. He would have exploded like a pumpkin in that kitchen.
Yep. So in December 2018, a grand jury decides not to apply the death penalty in his case.
Really?
I don't think so either. I think this is, you programmed this kid to to be a ticking time bomb. You can't, no. He plans to plead not guilty by reason of insanity. Yes. They're saying that they request another psychological evaluation of whether he's competent to stand trial. Yeah. They're going to do all that. They did separate examinations will determine whether he was legally sane. So they're going to examine him, but is your brain the same after you've blown a chunk of it out with a fucking shotgun?
No way.
So, I mean, even if he isn't now, was he then? How do you tell if he was sane then if he's got a huge brain injury now? Like, I don't understand how you do that.
And not just a brain injury. It's a fucking
piece is missing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some of it is not there. When I show you his picture, you're going to go, holy shit, what happened to his fucking face? So they...
You've got a picture.
Oh, I got pictures of him afterwards. Yeah, his mugshot is after post-recovery. So they do an evaluation that found him competent, but then they say, please look at him again because he's not fucking competent. He's not helping with his defense. Yeah. Well, what they would do is he had to do video conferencing, and the judge was like, Jacob, blah, 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 and he wouldn't respond. He won't respond. So the judge actually would talk to the cop behind him. Officer, can you hear me? And the cop would say yes. And they go, okay, well then, Jacob, you must be able to hear me. Jacob, they said, A, just didn't want to talk, and B, was scared of technology, and he's not supposed to use stuff like this, his mother told him. So
fucking Max Headroom's going to sentence me to murder.
Through the fucking TV.
Right.
So the judge a psychologist found that Jacob was clinically sane when he was charged in 2017, following a bunch of delays, including a bunch of COVID stuff, because this all came out right around 2020. He's finally charged with the murders. A A Dr. Arcangela Wood of the Psychodiagnostic Clinic in Akron said it's her opinion, based on reasonable psychological certainty, that Stockdale was not suffering from a severe mental disease, illness, or defect at the time he was charged. And they read the report and said, well, I mean, they actually ordered them to complete an additional evaluation to determine if he knew the wrongfulness of his actions. Okay, he was sane, but did he know that? They said her evaluation that an opinion regarding wrongfulness cannot be rendered because Stockdale is asserting his innocence. He's saying now he didn't even do it, which...
Oh, what?
Yeah. So someone came in, did all that, and then snuck out while the cops were in front of the house?
Right.
That's pretty impressive.
Shot you, the last victim, while the cops were there.
Yeah.
An hour after you shot, they shot everybody else?
And then dipped into the tunnel that leads to fucking what? Like, I don't...
Ran out to the chicken coop?
Wow. The defense wants to plead guilty by not guilty by reason of insanity, but it's not working out. They're looking at all the psychological reports. The problem is he had previously been moved from the county jail to the Heartland Behavioral Health Care in Massillon, and which is a state mental hospital. He appeared at a hearing through a video link and all this type of thing. Okay, now when he was in the institution, he'd been placed there. They found out that a few days after his sanity hearing, Heartland staff has expressed concerns about his current status, particularly because he had two documented incidents of attempting to leave the unit in an effort to escape. He tried to escape twice.
Yeah, insane. He's insane, and he's trying to get out of there. Well, he already knows where
Yeah.
Come on.
November 2019 was trying to find a way to exit the building when he had attempted to hide between book stacks at the library after closing hours. Clever. And in late December 2019, he tried to blend in with a group of people who were leaving a unit inside the facility, and they were like, no, not you, not so fast.
Hey, shotgun face, come here.
Yeah. And his reason was he had got a new haircut that made him look like his cousin. He said he didn't look like him anymore, so he'd be able to slip right out.
Okay.
They still know who the fuck you are.
Yeah.
They said that a letter from Heartland's said that his current level of functioning, which is more stable, better allows for him to carry out any potential behaviors or plans he may have. The Heartland staff is recommending that the least restrictive environment for Stockdale while considering the community safety is the Stark County Jail. Get him the fuck out of here. Mm-hmm. They said he's considered a flight risk, and they have a duty to protect the public. And anyway, he said that he just wanted to get keys to the facility so he could leave.
Yeah.
They said, but his mental health is getting better. He participates in group therapy. They even do a mock trial thing with him.
Yeah.
So he gets medication. They do mock trials to see if he understands what's going on in the trial. To see if he'll be able. Just a mock trial in general. So are you following? Yeah. What does he say? What is this person's job? Just to see if he could follow shit like that, which is smart, actually. So, that's how they evaluate him. The one judge said, this is one of those damned if I do, damned if I don't, but I have to consider the public interest and safety.
Sure.
So they end up finding him competent to stand trial. Once they find him competent to stand trial, he has no choice but to plead guilty. He's fucked. I mean, he did it. So he does. He pleads guilty to 2 counts of murder in exchange for firearm specifications being dismissed. So extra aggravators.
Yeah.
When during sentencing, he declines to speak in court.
Really?
Wow. So his attorney said, we've had the opportunity to have discussions with the family throughout this process, and they are supportive and show forgiveness for the crimes that Jacob is taking responsibility for today. The family members have written asking for the lightest sentence allowed. So we're not mad at him. This is the statement on behalf of the family. Our family grieves the loss of Catherine Barbara Stockdale and James William Stockdale. Kathy was a loving mother, grandmother, daughter, aunt, sister, mentor, and friend to many. James was a loving son, brother, nephew, uncle, cousin, and friend to many. Kathy put all of her effort into homeschooling all 4 sons through their graduation from high school. Losing her encouraging words and comforting hugs has been devastating. James was a college student and dedicated musician, bringing smiles to all, while Jacob has no recollection of the events of that day, which he might not. He trusts the legal system to do the right thing. It's beyond our understanding why this act was committed. He doesn't know because he doesn't fucking remember it. And I bet he doesn't.
Yeah.
He shot himself in the fucking head. He could very easily not remember it.
He took that part of the hard drive out.
Yeah, it's gone. Just blew it right out. The letter went on to say how grateful they were to the people who saved his life. They said that was nice. And a family member wrote, "We love and forgive you for the role that you had in their deaths. To the degree that we are capable of knowing the hearts of Mom and James, we are convinced they also forgive you for taking their lives." That's a big step to take. Yeah, I don't think Kathy forgives a lot here. The judge said, "I have to protect the public, and the nature of these charges are so gruesome. You will serve the next 30 years to life in prison. You, sir, may fuck off. 30 years to life."
He took nothing of the family's ideas into. Wow.
No, this is horrible. And now he's flighty in the head, too. He's probably more dangerous. So it was 15 years for each murder to be served consecutively. So he gave him less for the murder, but he made them consecutive and banged them out that way. Here is a picture of our guy here.
Oh, what have you done?
That eye is in
that's a glass
different
eye, bud.
place.
Yeah.
Oh, but I mean, where it is, it's over here. It's not even in the same.
Yeah, it's way low and
it's not even the same
left.
latitude. Yeah, it's not the same latitude or longitude.
Is that wide right?
Wide right. In photos here.
That's a Buffalo Bills field goal right there.
Yeah, he's in the Chillicothe Correctional Institution still, and his earliest parole hearing would be August of 2048.
Yeah,
that's going to be his first one.
God, Jesus.
He's pretty fucked. By the way, a little mistaken identity, crime and sports style here.
What?
When you look up Jacob Stockdale,
Yeah.
way more than the bluegrass murderer, you get Jacob Alexander Stockdale, an Irish professional rugby union player who plays as a wing for the United Rugby Championship Club Ulster and the Irish national team. You get a ton of him. A ton of him. He's doing great, hasn't killed anybody. That, everybody, is Beach City, Ohio, and small town murder for this week. That is fucking great. We've never had more in-depth knowledge of people before. That's what's so fascinating. So now the question is, why? And you can all debate that amongst yourselves because
until he tells us. Yeah.
I think he just snapped. I think he had enough.
Yeah.
Maybe, and who knows, maybe he was talking to a girl and his mother got mad at him and he said, "I've had enough," or we have no fucking idea.
But he was 20-something years old. He could have left.
25.
He could have left by
25.
then.
Oh, yeah.
Why are you living at home?
You're 25.
Yeah.
The door's there, get a fucking job and leave. This is another Gypsy Rose situation where you know what's going on. You're in your 20s. Right. Fucking the jobs are that way. Enjoy. Yeah. You know what I mean? And abuse is one thing, but at some point when you're an adult, you got to go, I'm taking myself out of this anymore.
Right.
Yeah. So
I wonder if he's the black sheep, the one that just is incapable of. You know what I mean? Everybody else has talents, and he doesn't have anything other than music, and nobody gives a fuck about a bluegrass player.
No, but the Lori Tonkovic lady said he had the most chores out of anybody. He was treated kind of. She said he was kind of treated, I guess, because he was easygoing, so they just made him do shit, and he did everything. And in the whole thing, too, in the wife swap, there's the 2 older boys. They go on the date and all that kind of thing. Then there's the younger one who she's like, oh, he's so cute and young. And then there's Jacob. He's just he doesn't really have a role. And he has one in the band, but in the family, during that, he's barely on the show. So it's interesting. Anyway, there it is. If you enjoyed that, tell the world about it. Get on whatever app you're listening on. Give us 5 stars. Definitely head over to shutupandgivememurder.com. Tickets to all the live shows coming up for 2024. 12 shows. 2 of them are sold out already, so get in there right now. One show that's not going to sell out that you can get tickets to very soon. We can't wait for 420 virtual live show again, baby.
Yep.
What crazy apparatus will I bring out this week, this time for Jimmy to freak him out? It's going to be so much fun. A crazy murder story, just like a regular live show, and lots of toking and smoking. So get on in there.
Can't wait.
And hang out with us for that. Also, patreon.com/crime and sports. all your bonus materials. Anybody $5 a month. Huge back catalog of bonus stuff, including 2 new ones every other week. One Crime and Sports, one Small Town Murder. You get it all. This week, Crime and Sports, we do the strangest injuries going. So we're going to do that. And then for Small Town Murder, we are going to do old-timey murders back into the newspaper archives. Shit was raw back in the day, and we're going to talk all about it. So we'll get into that. Patreon.com/Crime and Sports. Listen to Crime and Sports, by the way. Listen to your stupid opinions also. And if you get Patreon, the other thing you get is a shout-out.
You bet.
Absolutely. Also follow on social media at at Small Town Murder on Instagram.
Yeah.
So do that. You get a shout out, which is you're gonna hear in 1 second, whereas Jimmie will mispronounce your name, even though we'd love to get it correct. That said, Jimmie, fuck some people's names up for me. Let me hear them right now.
This week's executive producer are Peyton Meadows, Kyle Norweg. He's an enormous fan of Fog on the Tyne. Awesome. Vanessa Thompson, Angry Lesbian Socialist, and all of our other producers this week. Holy shit, strap in. We have Jacob Cook, Maria Victoria Munoz in Scotland, Melissa Spears in Australia, Joel Sellerite, I think, S.J. Surridge, Anna Mueller, Janice Hill, Brandy Davis, Alexandra Jane, Jack Imhoff. All right. Ellen, with no last name, Jason Bryce, Rich Pope, maybe, Poppy, Jacqueline with no last name, Zebra with no last name, Rory McBride, Lacey Lady, that's true, Jeff Scherer, no, it's not Lacey, is it Foxy? Foxy Lady was that pup that died. Oh, that's what that was. Foxy Lady is another one. There's also Lacey Lady. Jeff Scherer, Keenan Keeljew, Cool Jew. Oh, boy. Cool Jew? I don't know. It's Kulju. That's not what it sounds like. Kylie, Cheryl, Braden O'Shaughnessy, Joe Crystal, Rebecca Miller, Deb, Gentry T, Beja Pulowski, Braxton Heiserman, Lise, Lilys, Lissa. Oh, I think it's Alyssa. Holly Mobley, Valerie Johnson, Neil Roper, Alex Reynolds, Harvey with no last name, Stephanie Wilson, Jake Phillips, Lindsay Galvin, Joanna Smarzinski, Maddie's Shug, maybe? I don't know, Shug. Kevin Richards, Joe Basich, all right, Tess Ledoux, all right, a boy from Oz, Spencer Morey, Shay Grant, Haley with no last name, Joseph Riling, James L, Jay Winborn, Wing King, Carolyn Munns, Bert Booker, Aaron Henson, Bobby Gagne, maybe? Gagne. All right, Tony Spigany, Regaletta, Angela H, Rebecca L, I'm just moving on. Ebony Ingram, Amy O, Hannah Lee Billings, Buck Fan, 357. Hope you stay away from anything that's a 357. That is a tough day. Andrew Oakton,
Tough day for you fellas.
Lindsay Farraco, Alicia Kufeld, Lynn Capella, Cece with no last name, Daniel with no last name, David Orley Moberley, Kristen with no last name, Scoop with no last name, Chelsea Smith, Heather Belbeck, Mark Pyle, Erica Morin, I think, Victoria Dunn, Brian Sibley, Don Thompson, Lisa Bernie, R. Caldwell, Caleb Keenan, Gabby Sukovich, Derek Hunter, Tana with no last name, Caitlin Renfro, Steve N. Verito with no last name, Olivia Steiner, Sue with no last name, Caitlin Spencer, Cameron Graham, Jason Boutonnet, Jamie Goldberg, Nicole Cusera, Robbity Bobbity, Carolyn Brewster, Genesis Crow. Danny with no last name, Chammy 103, Anthony Harris, Tyler Scarborough, Bo Dufault, oh boy, Default, Cassandra Niffin, Heath Harvey, Heather with no last name, Mistress Linda, the Grande Dame Gilf. Gilf. Wow. She's a Gilf of Findom. Right. I don't know where that is. VP with no last name, Heather Brown, Jennifer Nardini, Tina Marie, Hannah with no last name, Joy Henry, Mackenzie Wells, Jessica Gonzalez, Kelly Pashikayo, Dave Mazzarelli, Sophie C, Callum White, the original caffeinator, Bart Simpson, Elizabeth with no last name, Samantha Boyette, Cameron Tooch Magooch. If you want
nobody's real name is Bart Simpson, by the way. That would be tough.
That's probably not.
Yeah, I get it. Thanks. I know.
Yeah, it was after. It was long before. Jason Cuddy, Amy Lewis, Dave Jordan, Megan Ploff, James with no last name, Nita Bodenschatz, Mark with no last name, Logan with no last name, Tia Dalby, Matthew Quigley, Quigley, yep. William Roden, Nick Umbarger, Alexis Kaiser, Harley Locklear, Dalton Bratton, Jesse Seal, Anais, Roni, Chelsea Waite, Brandon Mills, Albay, Corbett, Cameron Bargy, Christy H, Anna Schwartz, Ty Blom, Bo Glover, Carolina Peterson, Charles Olson, Chuck Olson. I think it's two, the same guy. I think he's got two. Richard Russell, yeah. Blake Murray, Elizabeth Pohl, Todd Beharry, Lauren with no last name, Mike Abbott, Mary Ford, Carla Mundy, Todd Guidry, Amy Kalat, Dallas Strait, Vanessa Shepard, Lisa Berube, Andrea Damanaco, Christy
Close.
Caring, Tom Steffens, Barbara Spencer, Carla O'Connor, Matt Clark, Monica with no last name, Darby with no last name, Haley Villafuerte, Kaylee A, Abigail Steed, Kylie with no last name, Danielle Roberts, Crystal Souza, Shun Lagoo, Anna Dolores, Oogly Boogly, Wood Brown, Chad Brow, and Woody Brown. Carrie Russell, Max with no last name, Caitlin Rogers, Tatiana, and all of our patrons. You're amazing.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Yes.
You wonderful, fantastic, crazy sons of bitches. We love you, and we can't get enough of you. So thanks for all that you do for us. Keep coming back. Get your tickets to your live shows. Minneapolis, come strong.
Yes.
Everybody, we can't wait for that. You want to follow us on social media, shutupandgivememurder.com. Drop down menus, find us, do that. Keep coming back, and until next week, everybody, it's been our pleasure.
Bye.
If you like Small Town Murder, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
Have you ever gotten a message out of the blue? Maybe you ignore them. Or maybe you end up in conversation. Maybe they tell you about an amazing offer.
I can really show you how to make some money.
And maybe that gets you into a lot of trouble. But this isn't a story about people like you, the people receiving these messages. This is a story about the people behind the messages, on the other end of the line. Thousands of them, working in a microcity built for scammers. From Wondery, the makers of Dr. Death and Kill List, comes Scam Factory, a new series about survival at the expense of others. Follow Scam Factory on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Scam Factory early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.